Hello. It is Sunday. It's just after 7 o'clock Sunday evening. And welcome to week 8 of 2022. This is the last full week of February. Can't believe I'm already almost 2 weeks in to my weekly vlogs. That's absolutely crazy. But I have a lot of updates to do. So we're going to try to go through things a little bit quickly here. So yesterday, Saturday, I did not read too much. I guess I did read something, but the Avalanche game was on super early. It was on at 11 o'clock, so 10:30 pregame show. And I had a lot of extra cleaning stuff I wanted to do. I usually do my chores on Sundays, but with the Super Bowl last week, I was going to do stuff on Saturday, and then I didn't get as much done on Saturday that I wanted, and then I ended up not really doing much on Sunday. So I needed to catch up on things like that. And then I also, for some reason, decided to do all the laundry in the world, and I washed all the rugs in my house, and I did my bed sheets and all the extra blankets, and I just went hog wild. We have another cold front that's supposed to move in tomorrow. And the low last I saw was -12, and the highs are like in the 10s. So that'll be super fun. But we're not supposed to get that much snow, only like 1.25 inches, but it's just supposed to be super duper cold. So I wanted to get all my blankets washed and smelling pretty and not covered in cat fuzz pretty much. So that was mostly yesterday, but I did do some studying I've been working through this tarot book, and I forgot the name of it. You can see it here. It is Tarot, No Questions Asked, Mastering the Art of Intuitive Reading by Teresa Reed. I'm now about 20% in, and I was just doing some tarot studying during the Avalanche game and post-game shows. And then I just kind of got up and switched laundry and things during the game. But I wanted to feel somewhat productive, and I wasn't feeling like reading. So I went with some of my tarot studying. So I got through quite a bit of the major arcana. I'm about halfway through the major arcana now. And I haven't picked it up for a few days. So I know it's probably better if you do a little bit every day, but for me, that doesn't necessarily always work. So it's more like I don't touch it for 3 days, and then I do a bigger chunk. But so I was doing that. And then I am all caught up. I haven't read tonight's chapters yet. It seems like it pings about 7:30 to 8 when the new chapter of Under the Oak Tree is up. But I got super sucked into this other web novel, Heart of Darkness. And I used all my fast passes for it. So I guess I'm just going to be reading this one until I get caught up. And then I'll be just using one of my video watches for Under the Oak Tree. And then everything else I earn, I'll be unlocking chapters until I get caught up with Heart of Darkness. I'm really, really enjoying it. We finally got back to where her father has officially become a traitor. I don't know, he was kind of like wavering back and forth, or at least he was hiding things. And then we found out that the king and like his little regiment of people are demons. And I'm not sure what kind of demons, but they're being punished, and that's why they're here in this world. And there is the Arch, and they're a group of people who kind of assess whether demons deserve to be punished. And if a demon is punished, that's their path to redemption, is kind of what it seems like. And so our main guy, Raven, is super scarred, and he kind of gets picked on the most by the Arch that's overseeing this group. And she's doing it because he is the hardest to be redeemed, but like if she can redeem him, she can redeem anyone, kind of a thing. And he is starting to get really drawn to our heroine. I think her name was Angelica. And then her little brother William. So things kind of hit the fan. We also find out that her father was teaming up with shades, which are like the arch nemesis of demons. So we've got another kind of supernatural creature. And her brother, like, prophetesses are a thing. And so it's weird that her brother would be a prophet, but they're thinking maybe she's a prophetess, but because she hasn't been open, and while she will have dreams from time to time, it's not like her brother. So, and Raven's the only one that knows this outside of Angelica. So he's also wanting to protect William because it's super rare to have a male prophet. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Things are starting to hit the fan because the king, when they killed Angelica's father, they still, like, he was amassing troops in the Shade Army kind of thing. Her father didn't know that he was dealing with other paranormal creatures. So they killed him, but they gave his body back to the house, and they did their, like, mind control tricks on some troops, and just that he was attacked by a different army and passed, like, more in a war or in battle kind of a thing. So they were able to properly bury him. But then the Arch is trying to force the situation for Angelica and Raven to get together because she thinks that him finally giving in and having a relationship with her is what's going to be able to redeem him. And it seems almost like they have maybe not a fated mate, but like a fated person that will help, I don't know, boost their powers and redeem them and all this other fun stuff. It hasn't gotten into too much details, but I'm kind of assuming based on a lot of little hints that we're getting, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm really enjoying it. And so this Arch person she's the one that released the rumors of her father being a traitor. So now basically everyone's abandoned Angelica and her brother, and the king comes and he makes it seem like it's a punishment, and he's sending William to, like, base camp for their military. But secretly the king is doing it because that's going to be the best area for him to be protected from all of this. But Angelica's kind of left in the lurch, and she lets her servants go because her servants aren't able to buy groceries even for themselves. And it kind of seems like we're getting to the point where she's about to get run out of town and be on her last leg. So we're about to get to where the prologue is, where she's running from people and she's running up to Raven's castle. So I feel like we're almost there. It could be still several chapters because that's how web novels go, but we're getting closer to getting back to that part of the story that really hooked me from the get-go. So that was really good. And then the other books that I decided I needed a little bit of a change of pace because I really enjoyed Magic Triumphs and I wanted to go back to fantasy. But I didn't want to get slumpy if I picked up something that didn't hit the mark. So I decided to look at my Winter's Kiss board, and then I just kind of glanced through some prompts, and then I was looking through to see if there was anything that sounded good. And I ended up picking up this. And I ended up picking up this randomly and then figuring out later that it fit. So this is Teased by Fire by Molly O'Hare. And she writes a lot of plus-size heroines. And this was really cute. I think I'm going to give it, I think I'm going to go with 4.5 stars. It's not quite 5, but I'm thinking about giving it 5 stars on Goodreads because I really enjoyed it. I read it in one sitting. So what we have here is Olive is a heroine, and she is a erotic contemporary romance author. They always talk about how she's an erotic romance novel or erotic romance author. And while there are clean romance authors, I kept wanting to be like, just call her a romance author. I mean, most romance books have steam, and it seems like she's more kind of indie published anyway, so she wouldn't necessarily be clean. But anyway, so she's been living with her best friend from childhood, and she has an older brother, and his name is Hank. Hank the Tank is his nickname, and he is a firefighter. And her friend / roommate gets a dream marketing job on the other side of the country. So she's moving out. And so she needs to help Olive find a roommate. And since she wasn't sure she was going to get the job, she didn't really tell him. And then it was super sudden. So she kind of throws this on Olive that I found a new job. I'm moving out. Also, my older brother is going to be your new roommate. Now, Hank has teased Olive mercilessly since they were little kids. Although I feel like when she started getting her womanly curves, it changed from just a boy teasing a girl to he likes her, so he's teasing her. And he never really got away from that. And so she's just like super frustrated because she's like, whatever. And her friend is like, he's a firefighter. He's only going to be home half the time. He's going to have long shifts. When he is home, he's going to be sleeping. It'll be fine. And then, things come to a head. He finds out that she writes romance, and he's like, you can use me for research. So they start out as like friends with benefits kind of a thing. And then he blurts out that he loves her, and it's this huge whole thing. Now, what I really enjoyed about this is she gets that when he tells her he loves her, she has family issues and her parents are absolutely horrendous. And they basically tell her that she's not worth love and she's not worth having a relationship with, and she's a horrible person, and she's not worth her last name, and all these bad things. And so that's why she's such good friends with Hank's family, is because she was over there constantly, so she would have like a normal family life with them. So when he tells her he loves her, she kind of freaks out, and they get into an argument because she doesn't feel like she is lovable. And he's like, fine, well then it's over. I don't want to do this anymore. I have to go to work. And she's sitting there and she's like, I don't even know what love feels like. So she kind of like reconciles what she writes in her books with how Hank treats her and how she treats him and how she really feels. And so she's like, I have to go tell him. I have to tell him I love him. I'm going to go to the firehouse, and hopefully he's not on a call, and I'm going to tell him I love him. She gets in a horrible, horrible accident, almost dies. She flatlines in the ambulance. And of course, Hank's fire people and his medics are who's called to her accident. She dies 3 times on the surgery table. She had a horrendous brain injury. I think they fixed brain hemorrhaging. She has a broken leg. There was something wrong with her spleen. She has a lung puncture, like her lung got punctured by a broken, like it was a bad accident. And I was just like, please don't bring in the amnesia trope. Please don't bring in the amnesia trope. I don't want her forgetting that they're living together, forgetting that they were sleeping together, forgetting that they said he loved to each other. And that didn't happen. It took a couple weeks for her to wake up, or a few days, maybe it was about a week. But he was there every day. And when she woke up, her parents finally deemed to show up, and it was because they wanted to help her do a lawsuit against the person who hit her, because the car accident was the other person hit her because they ran a red light, and they were dead before the fire trucks and paramedics and everybody arrived. So, but her parents wanted to sue whoever on that side, and she was just like, I just woke up from a coma. And then they basically, Hank and his family kick them out because they're like, you're not worthy of her. You treat her like crap, and you couldn't get here when your daughter was literally dying in 10-hour surgeries 3 times. You couldn't even make it to the hospital because you have an event to finish. So I loved Hank standing up for her. And then it kind of became a caretaking thing. And I really enjoyed it. Hank has a Maine Coon cat that he rescued. And her name is Dog because she was the firehouse cat. And most firehouses have dogs. So they called her Dog. And she was super cute. And I don't know. Olive was such a weirdo. Like, she believes in Bigfoot. She believes in aliens. And she writes, like, contemporary romance. But her brain, she's always like, zombie apocalypse? Aliens? Like, I don't know. She was just so quirky, but it wasn't overdone. And it was very... like it was the same all the way throughout, the way that she thought and the way that she was quirky. It wasn't like, oh, she's super quirky and oh, she's kind of back to normal. No, she was just the same level of quirkiness all the way throughout. So I was like, okay, this is just who she is. And I've known people that have quirks kind of like that, so it felt very normal to me. And I really enjoyed it. And I liked Dog, and Olive was like convinced that Dog was trying to attack her and eat her. And it was funny because Dog was kind of like pushing her around. And I don't know. And then after her accident, Dog was like constantly wouldn't let her do anything because she was protecting her. And it just... And Olive was very introverted, and she would like, anytime she had to go anywhere where there was people, she was like, I need like 2 days to recover. And she would be like, I need to de-people. And I related to that being an introvert as well. And I really enjoyed it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to give it 5 stars. It wasn't perfect, and I could have done a little bit more with the relationship. No, I'm going to stick with 4.5 stars because I did want more. Like, there were a couple little time jumps of like a couple weeks or a couple months, and it felt natural where they were, but I just wanted to see more of that relationship develop. And one thing I also did like is because he kept teasing her and playing little pranks on her in the beginning, and I was just like, he was like bothering her with them. Like, some of them were kind of funny, and other of them you could tell that she was getting upset by it. And then at one point, he does a prank where he messes with her bookshelf, and then she just kind of breaks down and she can't do it anymore. And then he realizes, oh crap, I've been going too far, and this was the last straw kind of a thing. And then he kind of stepped back, and he still pulled little pranks, but he stepped back. So I read that. So for Winter's Kiss Board 2, I used that for the prompt cursive and print lettering on the cover. And then I ended up, because I was just like, why not, that Molly O'Hare released Teased by Tinsel. And it came out last time around Christmas. And this is a little novella where they had, between the first book and this book, they got married on Christmas. And so this is their first anniversary. And so Hank rents a cabin that's a couple hours away up in the mountains, and they're gonna spend like a couple of days and Christmas Day up at this mountain by themselves, and then come home the day after Christmas to celebrate Christmas with their family. But they were able to kind of get away from everybody and be alone for a little bit and do whatever they want. And this was like a super cute, really steamy novella. They bring Dog, which is hilarious. They bring their cat everywhere. And it was super fun seeing them. And on this one, we do get a little bit of like talk about PTSD from the car accident. Olive doesn't really feel comfortable driving a lot anymore. When they're driving on the dark roads up to the cabin, a truck like flashes by, and Hank kind of freaks out and goes off the side of the road, like not horribly. He just kind of pulls off to the side, and they're both are slightly freaking out about, but Olive, like, her brain switches and she thinks they were abducted. And it's this like really weird thing. And Hank's just like, no, I need to know if you're okay. And then we get to see more of Lucas, which is Hank's best friend. And it sounds like Lucas is kind of having a thing with Hank's little sister, who was Olive's roommate. Her name started with an M. Melanie, maybe? But they're going to have a book. There was a note at the end of it. So I'm excited for that book to see. And then we also see a cute little vet and like a receptionist. And the receptionist has a corgi named Lord Waffles. And I guess those are 2 characters from a previous of her book. So this is the first Molly O'Hare I've read. But I have all of her books on my Kindle because they just sounded like cute little rom-coms. And I can't wait to read more from her. But so I read those 2 yesterday, and I haven't read anything today yet, but I do need to pick up the Smart Women Read Romance book for this month. The theme was historical romance, and more specifically Highlanders, and my book won again. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so it is The Beast of Clan Kincaid by Lily Blackwood, I think. Yeah, Lily Blackwood. She's a new author to me. I have the first couple books of that series on my Kindle. So I'm going to take a shower and start that tonight. But we have a couple other things to do before I leave you. So give me 1 second and I will be right back. Hello, I'm back. I forgot to mention, I used Teased by Tinsel for the prompt holiday novella for Winter's Kiss Board 2. So that's 17 of my 25 prompts. And then I have 2 prompts left for FaRoFeb as well. At least for the first board of FaRoFeb. So hopefully I can get 2 books that will go for both of those. And then I'm probably going to pick up some novellas to try to finish Winter's Kiss. I did see that Shelby posted the 3 boards and the dates for spring. And so spring is March 1st through May 31st. So it's March, April, May. And she had the 3 boards posted, and I'll link her down below as always. But so I'm going to be working on my TBR for that. At least for the first board, I'll look at some of the more specific posts and try to think up some ideas. But I'm definitely going to do it again. Doing Shelby's challenges the past few seasons has really helped push my reading to pick up books that I might not have picked up before. And I've been reading a lot more contemporary, partly because of her, partly because of some of the other bookish friends I've made. But I'm excited. I want to at least, this time I've only been able to get 1 board done. A couple of times I've been able to get 2 of the 3 boards done, and I did last summer get all 3 boards done for summer. So we'll see what my reading looks like coming up here in spring, but I'm hoping to at least get 2 boards done, since it seems like I won't have all the other stressors of like holidays and stuff going on. But so there's that. I also wanted to mention, I also used Teased by Fire for the Heaving Bosoms reading embrace for this year. And I used that for the funny joke dancing prompt. Because I don't remember exactly if Olive does some funny joke dancing, but I feel like she's a character who would. Or any of the other characters in the book, really. So I only have 2 prompts left to do the 20 for the Heaving Bosoms reading embrace. But that one runs all year, so I don't feel pressured to read it. But one of them is a Jimmy Simpson's Robot Adventure is a prompt. And so I wanted to read like an android cyborg book. And when I was looking at Tracy Lauren's backlist recently, she has an android duology. So I think I might pick that up next month, since it won't work for FaRoFeb. Although maybe it'll work for one of these other ones I have left for Winter's Kiss. But I guess I'm on the second board, so I'll get 2 boards done, hopefully, for Winter's Kiss. I thought this was the first one. But anyway, so let's do the quest calendar, and then I have something fun to do. So, Friday, where we left off, we went to the pub, and we just kind of hung out. Since this is the start of a new week, I'll just do my little blurb. We are doing Quest Calendars 2022, The Gate of Terralon. This is created by Sundial Games. I backed this on Kickstarter last year, and I am super, super enjoying this. This is a daily calendar, although Saturdays and Sundays are combined, and it's based kind of off of tabletop RPG games like Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, that kind of a thing. So, let us move forward. Ooh, we're being approached by some shady people in cloaks. Always fun. Okay. 2 people sit at your table and plop down a bag of coins. We see you signed up for the Tournament of Lords. We have a proposition for you that might benefit us all. Hear us out? Check your virtue to determine the mission they have for you. Ooh, okay. This is the first time our virtue is coming into play outside of gaining it. So we are a +2 virtue. So we will look at the back of Fridays. Okay, if your virtue is greater than 0, so 1 to 10, prove the tournament is rigged. The Tournament of Lords is one of the most noble traditions in the land. It is the one chance where even the lowliest commoner can prove themselves worthy beyond lineage to claim a title and land. Such a victory is rare, but does happen. Usually, a lord's heir wins and thus expands their family's influence, but it is still a hope which the people must hold on to. We have it on good authority that for the past several years, Lord Whitmore, the tournament overseer, has been rigging the tournament in favor of those with the highest bribe. We want you to travel to his estate outside the city, sneak into his manor, and find evidence of this. Once we have it, we can bring him to justice and make the tournament fair again to all. We can pay you 10 gold once you meet us back here. His manor is only a day's travel from here. You will be back in time to begin the competition, knowing full well that you actually have a chance. Yeah, sign me up. Heck yeah. I mean, we don't really get a choice whether we get to do this or not, but yeah, I'm on board. Let's do it. Okay, cool. I've been having fun, but I was like wanting to get into like the meat of the plot and get to like the actual tournament instead of just enjoying the festivities. And things are happening. I'm excited to see what happens this week. Fun. Okay. Good. I like this. I like it a lot. I like it. I'm excited. I'm very excited if you couldn't tell. So there's that. Now, if you didn't see last week's vlog, or 2 weeks ago vlog, I have been, for the past, few months, I've been making wax tarts. And so I filmed some B-roll clip of me making wax tarts 2 Saturdays ago. So we are now at the 2-week time frame, which means that they have sat as long. For the wax and the scent percentage that I use, it is best to let them sit for 2 weeks before you burn them at all. And then that way that gives the scent and the wax time, or the wax time to sit, and then the scent can evenly distribute through the wax for a proper burn. You need to do that for candles and wax tarts and different things like that. So it has been officially 2 weeks, over 2 weeks officially, since I popped all of my wax out of the mold. So we are going to look at them. I'm so excited, and do cold throw tests. So I've got my little baskets here. So we will just go through them. And then I also pulled up my scent notes, because some of these are like, you're obviously what they are. And then others we'll just have to see. So for these hearts, and I labeled everything. This is a cat food thing, but it's not cat food. So this is spiced pumpkin latte. Ooh, I love coffee scents anyway, and since I lost my demolding clips, you will actually get to see how they look like. Ooh, that smells really good. So there's that. I just did a really pretty little brown, simple heart. It's actually fairly decent sized. Ooh, I'm excited for that one. That one smells really good with a cold throw. Yay! Okay. Now, since this one has a bunch of my clamshell tarts, and I got the heart clamshell tarts this time, but I have a couple in here that were, as you can tell, it's got like different colors in it that were for like overflow, that I was just like, whatever. And then these ones, I just poured them so that they weren't connected really. But let me pull the ones that are just straight scents that I did for testing. So I think these are it. Okay, so then those are all my tests or my overflows. Okay, so we've got this really pretty pale lemon. Let me pop it open here so you can actually see. Oh my gosh. So it's this really pretty pale lemon. And this is lemon curd. Oh my gosh, this smells like lemon head candies. My mouth is watering. I love lemons. I used to eat lemons as a kid, as like a baby. They would give me lemons when we went out to eat, and I'd just be happy as a clam. Just give me a lemon and I'm okay. So I love lemons, lemon scents. Oh my gosh. It smells so good. I can't wait. I can't wait to do this one. Oh my gosh, that was, I love it. I love it. And this one was a little bit of a problem child for me because the wax that I use, the best temperatures that I like for pouring is you heat it to about 195 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you want to mix the scents in about 185 to 180. And then you want to start pouring by the time it's at 170-ish. And the flash point for the lemon curd scent was 143 degrees. So I waited until like 140 just to be on the safe side before I added the scent. And flash point is, if it gets above that, it loses its scent. So you want to mix it when it's lower than that temperature. So that was a little bit of a problem child because it cooled down more significantly than normal before I was able to pour it. But that's part of why I did that one in the clamshell. But I'm super excited. And I made 2 of those because my boss likes lemon too. And she's kind of who I'm testing all my scents off of. So I'm going to open this one before. So this is salted caramel frappe. And I just did, ooh, there we go. It's just a very light pale brown. So it's like very light tan. Oh. I get like a hint of caramel and the saltiness, but it's a salted caramel frappe. So the coffee's not super prevalent, but that might come out more once it's melting. Okay, so then here's this one. Super obvious is orange. And this one is Pleasing Pumpkin. Now, this one is, the description is sweet, creamy pumpkin puree with butter and sweet vanilla cream. Oh, I smell like cinnamony and spices. That's weird. It smells like a spicy, like a cinnamon pumpkin. I don't get the more like buttery baking kind of scents. But we'll see once it's heated up. But I still like it because I like cinnamon and I like pumpkin. But that was interesting. Okay, so now this one I did I used like a little bit of a neon greeny color. So it's like this yellow green. I don't know. There we go. And this one is Gin Martini. Ooh. Oh, I love that a lot. Now, I got this one because it's mostly citrus, rosemary, ginger, and aldehydic bubbly notes of club soda. I really like this. This is really like fresh and slightly herby with the rosemary. Oh, I was really excited to try this one because it sounded so different than scents I normally do. And I love this. I love this a lot. I can see this being mixed with like a eucalyptus. Ooh, I really like that. I really like that. Which one am I going to do first? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one is Cranberry Rhubarb Preserves. And I did like a light purple pinky color for this one. So Cranberry Rhubarb. Ooh. I've smelled this smell before. This smells like a pink lotion or a pink body spray I had when I was a kid. I like it. It's got a touch of sweetness in the cranberry. I'm guessing it's the rhubarb that I'm smelling, but that's like a nice, bright, sweet, but fruity scent. Ooh, I like that one. Whew. They're all turning out good so far. I'm loving this. And then this one is Cranberry Relish. And I went with a more magenta pink color for this one. So the difference between these ones, this one is So the cranberry rhubarb has a whole bunch of different fruits in it, but this one is just straight up fresh tart cranberry. And then the other one has like pear and peach and currant and grapefruit and rhubarb and cranberry and all sorts of fruity stuff. But this is supposed to be just straight cranberry. Ooh. It definitely smells different, and it definitely smells like cranberry because it's got sweet but a touch of tart. But there's something else in here. I don't know. But I like it. It's different. Like, you can definitely tell a difference between the cranberry rhubarb and the cranberry relish. I think this one is a little bit more of a subtle sweet scent. Well, this one kind of hits you with the fruits and the sweet. This one, like, the sweetness is there from the cranberry, but it's not like hit you in the face sweet. Gosh, I'm so excited. So there are the clamshells and then my one little one here. So now we have the rest of my tarts. And you'll have to excuse these. I haven't bought like official. Oh my gosh. Let me just put my basket on top of things here. Okay. I put my basket on top of the thing that's on the same thing, like that's on the same level that my light's on. Go me. One more. Okay. So you'll have to excuse all of my containers. I didn't have containers for everything. I haven't bought like official containers. So I've been reusing containers. And then I had to use some of my Tupperwares that I use for like food stuff because I needed some larger sizes. But so we'll go through this and these. So this one is, I won't really have to describe much. This is caramel popcorn. And on this one, I used my Bell mold. And I bought this Bell mold. It's an silicone ice cream tray that I found at the Dollar Tree. So I paid $1 for it. And I bought one to test it. And I should have tested it before all the Christmas stuff went away. But next year, I will know. And I'll probably, if I continue making wax tarts, I'll probably just get a mix box from their online store. Because I think it comes with like 24. And then I'll have a bunch of molds that I can do. But they turned out really good too. The details came out so well. And this smells really good. It smells like caramel popcorn. But look how great the details came out. That's like the best money for a mold ever. Now, it had less cavities, but that's okay. I don't mind at all. I'm excited for that one. I love popcorn scents too. Okay, so we're going to go next. So this is Cafe Mocha. And this one is another one that I just did my normal hearts with. So I went with just another simple brown. But I think I tried to do this one darker than the other one. Yep. This is Cafe Mocha. It's got, the coffee is a lot more prevalent here. But you do get the chocolate. I think my boss will really like that one. So there's that. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. This is so much fun. Okay, so I've got a lot of these guys. These are my Legos. And I did 2 of them. And then I ended up having that one and this one. And then I want to say this one is also my Legos. So, and this scent. So here's, here we go. So here's the little 4-brick. And then it has, all right, let's try to get out of the light a little bit. So this is the long skinny one. And then I think in these ones I have the bigger sizes. And then it has like a full size normal 8-piece or 8-stud Lego. And this is buttered popcorn. And this is buttered popcorn. It makes me want popcorn now. But because I did 2, because I know my boss loves popcorn scents too, and they were Legos, so they're fun. So I made 2 molds of them. Now this was the hardest mold to do because it has a lot of little cavities and it took a long time, and I was trying to be careful, and then I just kind of went hog wild and I was like, whatever. But then it kind of was a mess to pop out. So I'll definitely want to do those as a quicker pour with a higher flash point. Okay, so we'll move on. This one is Cinnabon type. So this is a cinnamon roll Cinnabon copycat scent. And on this one, I did my profile roses. Ooh. Yeah, no, this is definitely like cinnamon with like the pastry. This is definitely like, I can like, it doesn't necessarily say cinnamon roll, but it's definitely like cinnamon pastry. I like that one. I like that one a lot. And these came out pretty good too. A lot of these were molds I was trying for the first time. And the details came out pretty well. I'm excited. And I waited longer this time before I popped them out of my mold. The first time I used molds, I let them rest. Like I did my wax tarts in the morning and then I popped them out later that night. But this time I did them in the morning on Saturday and then I popped them Sunday evening. And so I feel like they were just able to sit a little bit better. And I didn't really have issues with breakage when I was taking them apart. Except for this one. But as you will see... So this one, I did little pineapples. And on this one there was breakage, but just because of the little top fronds, because they're so much skinnier than the rest. Like this is the size. But this scent is strawberry French toast. And I definitely get the strawberry. But there's something else in there. Some sort of like spicy scent that I wouldn't expect. That kind of gives it a little bit of a darker undertone. Do I smell? What do you think? She's like, what are you smelling? Yeah. What did I make you smell? So I like that one. That one's probably my least favorite so far, but like I said, I make notes on both cold throw and hot throw. So we'll see how these all smell once I burn them. And then also in the same, I had one huge heart mold and I did 10 of the 2 different coffee ones and then it holds 24. So on this one, I did a really pretty pink, and this is from that same mold. So same size hearts. And this one is called Kissing and Telling. And this one is a more floral scent. So let me just read what it is. So it says succulent purple passion fruit, burgundy Tuscan grapes, sun-kissed yellow peonies, fragrant vanilla orchids, and just a hint of greenery. So this is definitely florally. And I'm not the biggest fan of floral scents usually unless they're mixed with other things. But this one I don't mind. It's a very delicate floral scent. Which is also why I only did 4 with them, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. But I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. This is a better floral scent. All right. We're almost out. We're almost done. Okay. So we're going to do... I've got my big ones left, and then I've got one that I'm super excited for. So we'll do the other little one, and then we'll do the big ones. So these ones, I was super worried about the mold, but I got like 3 of them because I was super excited for them. But they are Conversation Heart molds. So this one says Love You. And it came out, or Love Ya. Like, I know it's hard to tell with the lighting, but it's like super legible. I'm really impressed with how well, and this one's just XO, with how well these came out. And then there's a Be Mine, and I think a Kiss Me. I think it's just those 4. But so this scent, and what was the bright red, is Red Velvet Cake. I can get, it's like very faint chocolate. but I don't get much scent. Okay, I do more when I stick my face in it, but... So these ones I might have to do 2 at a time, but it's very delicate. But it could also be because the mold's skinnier, although it's the same depth as the cinnamon bun one. I don't know. We'll keep going. We'll see. We'll see. So, the final mold I have, I don't know, I can't remember if I kept them in, but I found one that had 6 big roses. And these are huge. Huge. So, I don't know if one will fit in my wax warmer. I'll probably have to cut them, but I thought they were gorgeous and I wanted to do wax for them. But an entire ounce of scent, plus the wax that goes with that, only filled 2 cavities. So, that was the max I could do for a scent for these ones. But when I popped them out of the molds, they looked awesome. So I'm super excited. So which one should we do first? Let's go with this one. So we're going to go with pumpkin cheesecake first. I know, and I haven't looked at these. I haven't touched them at all. Oh my gosh. And look at these. Oh, aren't they gorgeous? I love these. Oh. These would be so perfect for even just cold throw, to just have in a little dish out somewhere, just to, without melting, and we'll give you good scent. Pumpkin cheesecake. I just want to take a bite out of it. Oh my gosh. Oh, and they turned out so good. These ones I was a little more worried about popping it out just because there were deeper grooves in the mold. But once I kind of figured out the trick with the first one, they all popped out super easily. It's just that they're so large. Okay. And then I did 2 roses. And so there were 6 roses in the mold. So I did 3 different scents. So 2 of each. And then the other one I did was Passionate Kisses. And this one is raspberry, blackberry, fresh strawberries, coconut milk, and freshly picked roses. Oh my gosh. Look at how pretty. Oh, and I love this pretty pink that I did for it. There's that hint. The very tiny hint of the floral, but it's mostly the berries. Oh my gosh. This was one of my favorite scents when I was making them. The scent smelled really good out of the bottle. A lot of the times it's hard to tell out of the bottle how a scent will actually be once it's like able to mix with wax and have space to breathe. Oh my gosh. It smells even better. I love it. And I love this pretty pink. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for these. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to start using these. I have some wax that I put in my wax holder last night. So I'm probably going to burn that tonight. And then I want to see how much these will fit. Because I feel like I have a wider base, so it should fit these guys in it. But it might be too thick still. So this is the last one we have, and this is Applejack peel. And so this is lemon zest, grapefruit, apple, peach, orange, cinnamon, and clove. Oh my gosh, yeah. Look at this green. Oh my gosh, isn't this so pretty? Oh my gosh, I love the way that these look. Yeah. And you get the clove and the cinnamon. The clove is a little bit more prominent, but you get the heat from the cinnamon. And then you can tell that like apple is the predominant fruit, but you can tell that there's other fruitiness into it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is one of my favorites, cold. Oh my gosh. I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait to burn these and see what they smell. If you're interested in any of these, let me know. I've been kind of tossing around the idea of selling them. And my boss mentioned I can put some on consignment in our shop because some of the like wives or girls that come in, or even the boys, might get some for their wives. So I've been thinking about doing that. But if any of these molds look super interesting, or you like wax melts too, let me know down below. And I might, I don't know. It's something I've been thinking about off and on. And I enjoy making them, and I enjoy playing with new scents. And I like kind of having the like rose and romance themes, because then I can like do romance tropes and whatnot. I know there's lots of candles and stuff out there, but I have a couple candles, but I don't use candles that often. I usually stick to wax tarts because they're flameless. They're a little bit easier to clean up. And I feel like you just have a little bit more fun, and you can change your scents more often. Like I can burn one for 2 days and I want to go completely in a different route and then pick up a different flavor or a different scent and just move around. So I'm super excited. So I had a lot of fun smelling these. I don't know if you enjoyed watching me smell all these, but if anything sounds good to you, or you want to know more information about where I get my stuff or anything, let me know. I'll link the wax and the scents that I used for all of these I got from Nature's Garden. I use the Pillar wax, which is a soy blended wax, and it's a lot harder, so it's perfect for wax tarts. And then I use their scents. And then all of my molds, some I got at the dollar store, a couple of them I found at Walmart. Most of the ones that I used today I got from Joann's, and some of them are Wilton, and some of them are, I don't know what brands they are, but most of them are either silicone ice cube trays or silicone candy / chocolate molds that I just used for wax. But yeah, if you want to know more, I can do a different video or do more information. But like I said, just let me know if you want to learn more, or you want me to do a video on what I'd use and how I do it and all that. But I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go take a shower, and then I'm going to get all comfy and cozy and get in bed. And then I'm going to start this. This is the Smart Woman Read Romance Patreon pick. Like I mentioned earlier, The Beast of Clan Kincaid by Lily Blackwood. I'm excited. This is the first book in in one of her Highlander series, and this is a new historical author for me. So I'm super excited to try her out, and I hope it's really good. But I will be back, update you once I've read a little bit more of this, or read some into it. Or heck, maybe it'll be like I did today, where, hey, surprise, I read an entire book in a novella yesterday. Surprise! But we'll see what happens. Until then, thank you for joining me. I know this opening clip is fairly long. We had a couple books and the calendar, although the calendar went quickly, and then all of my smell tests. But I have a lot of passions. And while reading may be at the top of my passion list, it's not my only passion. So, plus it's fun, you know? All right, I'm going to stop blabbering and go take a shower. And I will check back in with you all soon. I'll see you. Happy Monday. Happy President's Day. I did have to work today, but that's okay. The Avs played today, and I watched it kind of while I was at work. They lost 5-1, which is fine. It's fine. I mean, it's only the second game that they've lost in 2022. So it's just weird because they don't really lose. And they lost 5-1. And so when they lose, they usually don't lose like that. But at least lately. So that was kind of but I'm glad I at least had it at work, because if I was at home trying to watch that, that would have been bad. So I don't really have my normal lighting up today because I'm being lazy, and I have things that I need to be doing. I should be finishing editing my vlog to go up on Wednesday, but I just don't want to do it. So it's probably going to go up on Thursday this week because I'm just I'm just over it. At least I'm over today. I'm ready to just relax the rest of the night. So I booked book updates. I did it again. I finished The Beast of Clan Kincaid by Lilia Blackwood. This is book 1. I think it's her Highland Warriors series is the name of it. And this is for the Smart Women Read Romance exclusive Patreon review. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I started it last night and I was going to update this morning, and then I just got busy doing other things this morning. And then, so I got through about 80%. And then when I got home tonight from work, I finished it real quick before the live show. So like I said, 4 stars. So in it, we have our hero is Niall, and he is the laird parent. Niall? Niall? I don't really know Scottish names, but I know that there's, I think One Direction has somebody with that name. I think that's like the one, like I know of Harry Styles, but I feel like Niall is the one that I know because I've listened to his solo stuff. But anyway, that's completely outside of the fact. So when he is 12-ish, Clan McLaren and Clan Alwyn show up, and his father, who's Laird Kincaid, is going to surrender. But when he surrenders, Niall and his 2 brothers are asked, when they're born, they all are given like little wolf head brooches with emerald eyes. And basically that symbolizes that they are the heirs of Clan Kincaid. So their father asks for their brooches, and they put them on other little boys. And then they're kind of sent to escape. And, you know, you as the reader, we're like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. This is so not good. And his family, his mother, his father, and the 3 boys who had the brooches of him and his 2 younger brothers are all killed. And Clan Kincaid is basically taken over, and everybody is dispersed. And then the brothers themselves split up now that they're being kind of tracked down, that there were people from Clan McCaid that were trying to escape. So then we get a time jump, and this is 17 years later. He's about 29 years old, and Clan McLaren is now living in the castle that was the Kincaid's castle. And he has been living as a mercenary with the guard that he had escaped with the entire time. And basically, he's kind of getting everything handed to him on a silver platter. When he first arrives, he is drawn to a young woman, Elspeth, and she is the eldest daughter of Laird McLaren. And it's their love story. I'm going to give it 4 stars. And that's kind of giving it a little bit of grace on my end. I do tend to rate things higher, but there's a lot of really good parts to this. And I feel like on the live show, Juliet said it the best, where this feels like a debut book. You can tell that everything's not quite 100% fleshed out. And while there's lots of really good pieces of the plot, it's not like solidified. And sometimes there's things that are told to us instead of allowing us to experience. But yeah, I really liked it. It's the chemistry between Elspeth and Niall was really good. Was really, really good. I really like the chemistry between them. Where I kind of couldn't give it 4 stars is some of the choices that they made were a little too back and forth. And it's like they'd make one choice and then they'd go on the other side and then they'd go back to it. And it was just kind of like, pick a lane. Just pick a lane and stick to it. And that was true for Elspeth. It was true a little bit for Niall. It was true for Laird McLaren. And then we had her 3rd stepmother, Bridget, who was absolutely horrendous to her. And granted, she was closer to Elspeth in age. And it was explained that she was so rude to her and so mean to her, like she hit her. And she was having trysts with this one of the guards, and it's explained that she's angry because she was basically forced to marry this old laird who's dying, and she's never really going to be able to have kids, kind of a thing. And while I empathized with her a little bit, it was like she's this horrible person, and then it just like that, she wasn't. So I didn't like that, and I totally thought that because Laird McLaren is like getting sick, and I totally thought that she was poisoning him or she was doing something to him. It did take some turns that I wasn't expecting, and it wasn't 100% predictable to me, so I did enjoy that. And there were parts of this I really enjoyed that kept me intrigued and wanting to see what happened and how the story would evolve. And I definitely want to read more. Juliet mentioned on the live show that she's reading the second one, and she is enjoying that one a lot more. And I read the blurb for the second one after finishing this one, and I'm definitely more intrigued by the blurb for this one. But it wasn't quite perfect. But I feel like this still has a higher notch for me than some of the other Scottish Highlander historicals I've read, because a lot of the times they'll have like the same kind of plot points over and over and over. And I feel like this had enough uniqueness mixed into it, at least plot and overall idea wise, that I gave it a little bit more grace. From what I can tell, this is also her debut book, and seems to be the only series that she's written, unless this or she has a different pen name or something in a different genre. But I definitely want to read the next book and the third book. I want to read the full trilogy, but it's not going to be at the top of my list. I don't know how quickly I'll get to them, but I mean, if I'm really in the mood for some Highlander, I kind of tend to go for Donna Fletcher. Although I have to finish the Maya Banks series that I've started now too. And now I have this one. So at least I'm getting more that I can add to my spinner wheel if I ever decide to use my spinner wheels again. I think I made a whole bunch of them, and I used one genre one once during a readathon, and then that's it. I don't know. It's hard for me. But, so I had a little bit of time afterwards, and I was looking for something to pick up next. And I was looking through what I have left for my Winter's Kiss board 2, and what I have left for my 2 prompts for the first board of FaRoFeb. And one of them is, and so the 2 I have left for the first board of FaRoFeb is Low Fantasy and FaRoFeb Author. And so I was thinking for FaRoFeb Author, I want to pick up a Juliet Cross book. But I don't know which one. I have too many options. And some of them I feel like are more paranormal than fantasy to me. And I know with FaRoFeb they're a little more lenient in that, but I want to try to stick to just fantasy and save the paranormal for the paranormal romance readathon. But I ended up going on FaRoFeb's website and looking up what they had listed for low fantasy on their like TBR page, and I found this, which I actually saw probably from a FaRoFeb post or one of their newsletters, and this is Warrior's Regret by November Dawn, and this is the first book in her Demon Hybrid Warriors, and I think this is the only one that's out so far, and I am only 20% in. I started it about half an hour before the live show started, so I haven't gotten too far. And I'm really intrigued by it. So what we have here is it is low fantasy, so it's set in the real world. But there's basically 3 beings. There's humans, there's demons, and then there's hybrids, which are half human, or they're humans that children of humans and demons. So they're never 50-50. Some of them have, and even then you could be like, I feel like our heroine said that she was the daughter of a hybrid. Her mother's a hybrid and her father's a human, I think is what she said. But some of them will be like the child of a hybrid and have really crazy powers. And then our heroine so far doesn't seem to really have much power. And she said that she can't really manifest claws or anything like that. But so for demons, they know, they can sense their mate, and they, like, when they're near them or they touch them, they know who their mate is. For hybrids, they have like a genetic blood test kind of a thing, which I really love that. I've read some alien series that have a similar kind of thing, and I'm always a big fan of it. So our heroine, gosh, what is her name? It starts with an A. Here we go. Aster. She is like an office person. She's into spreadsheets, and she's like really good at being an office manager, office assistant person. And she's just been feeling really lonely. And she kind of mentions that when she was young, she dreamed of finding her mate and of true love and all that. And then when she was like in her late teens, she was like, screw it, I know better than anybody. And then she had some failed relationships, and now she's just feeling lonely. She was like, okay, I'll sign up. I'll take the test. We'll see what happens. And she was one of the few lucky ones where her mate also took the blood test. So she goes, and you're not like forced to be together. So what they have is they have like basic meeting rooms that sound like they're kind of set up like interrogation rooms, but it's just like a basic meeting room, and you can go and you can sit and you can talk with them and meet with them face to face and just see if it's something that you want to pursue. And then a lot of the times they'll go and have a meal or just get out of that building and just go from there. And so she's in this meeting room waiting to meet her mate, and the guy that kind of led her back there is like, I'm so sorry, your mate doesn't want to meet you. And so her mate is Cole. He is a warrior, which is, so basically with the hybrids, there's warrior hybrids, and they basically are trying to fight back against the evil demons, and they're there to protect all the hybrids and humanity, and they're trying to be good in the world kind of a thing. And then there's civilian hybrids. And so Aster's a civilian hybrid, and Cole is a warrior, and he's actually a commander at a warrior base where he does a lot of the training for warriors. So he rejects her, doesn't even want to meet her. He doesn't want to mate. We see him talking with his friend John, who helps run this mating program. And John basically was like, me and your friend decided that, you need to find your mate. You need somebody to kind of help calm you down, mellow you out. So they kind of tricked him into showing up to this place where the meeting was. And then he rejects her, doesn't even want to meet her. And then Aster is kind of left in the lurch because everybody knows that she becomes the point of gossip because she was the person who was rejected by her mate, which isn't as rare of an occurrence. Except for the fact he rejected her sight unseen. He never even met her. And that is what is really rare and really causing an issue. So she gets an offer to be a supplies manager. So basically she orders supplies for warriors and stuff. And she ends up taking this job to a base that's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So she's not going to be in the city anymore. She's not going to be around all the people who know what happened with the mating thing. And so I just found out that Cole actually transferred her there. And he kind of put her name down as an option for this job. And it wasn't that he wanted to be with her or meet her, but he just kind of wanted to observe her a little bit and see. And then he wasn't going to interact with her at all. But now, and then he approaches her after she's been there for a couple weeks, and he's like, have you gotten a tour of the place? And she is completely drawn to him right away. But she just thinks like she's nervous and he's emanating power and he's a higher up. So she thinks that's what it is. And so even though he's so firm that he doesn't want to mate and he's already rejected her, He's drawn to her and he can't stop himself from approaching her. So I already know. They're going to start being romantic, or they're going to start flirtations. And I have a feeling Aster's going to freak out because she's going to not want to be in a relationship with, like, even if she'll want to be in a relationship with Cole, she already has kind of mentioned a couple times how she doesn't, like, anybody who knows her won't want to be in a long-term relationship with her because she does have an official mate. So you know that they wouldn't be the mate kind of a thing. So that's unfortunate. And then I don't know if he's going to tell her he's actually her mate. So I feel like that's going to be our main point of contention. But I'm enjoying it so far. It's definitely intriguing. This is a new author for me. And I haven't read very many demon romances. But I'm enjoying it so far. Even though I can kind of see where it's going. So yeah. So that is what I'm currently reading. And what I finished earlier. And I'm just surprised. I feel like I haven't read very much. But I'm just blowing through books this weekend. So, also I should mention, for the Beast of Clan Kincaid, I don't know why I can't say that. I don't think it counts for any of my prompts for Winter's Kiss Board 2. So, unless I kind of move things around, but I don't think I want to worry about moving things around. So, I think I'm just going to kind of leave it. And it's just a book that didn't count for a prompt. But let us do our calendar. So, yesterday we were approached by 2 people, and we were tasked with going to some dude's house and trying to figure out, or proving that he's rigging the competition kind of a thing. So let us see what we're doing today. Okay, so travel to Whitmore Manor. It looks like we're going to have a couple of different maps or options. But they're different colors, so I'm guessing we've got going during the day or going during the night. But let's see. Okay. It will take 1 day to travel to Lord Whitmore's manor and back. You have the option to travel during the day, which would make travel easier, or you could go under the cover of night, which could aid you in stealthy activities once you get there. No, we are already stealthy as a monk. So, here are our options. Travel during the day, roll d20 plus wisdom, reminder, survivalist, and map and compass. Thank you for focusing. Or travel in the cover of the night, which is the same thing. Roll d20 plus wisdom, reminder, survivalist, and map and compass. So we do have the map and compass. We are not survivalist, but we are stealthy. So I don't know if stealthy probably won't play a role right now, but it'll probably once we get to the manor. Let's see. I mean, we're trying to prove that he's been doing wrongdoing. And we have the map and compass. But I don't know what the map and compass does for us. Let me see if it's in my inventory sheet. +2 to rules when traveling. Okay, so cool. So that'll give us a +2. Plus our wisdom, which is a +1. So we have a +3 to our rolls. I think... I don't know, traveling in the night could give us a bonus to any stealthy actions that we might take. But we already have bonuses to stealthy. So I almost feel like we should be safe and travel during the day. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to say that. We're going to do that. We're just going to travel during the day. We're going to be nice and easy, very simple, and not try to push ourselves too much, I think. So, we have a +3 to whatever we roll. You give me good luck. We only got to 1 roll. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, it's a 10. It's a 10. So that gives us a 13. So, okay, we were looking for an 11. Whew. Okay, so you travel to Lord Whitmore's manor quickly and without issues. You do not need to consume any rations. Okay, well, that's cool, I guess. So nothing happened. We made it there safe and sound. But could be worse. Could be worse. So yeah, so there's our calendar. I'm going to take a quick drink of my tea. We have an Arctic cold front moving in tonight. I know. And we're supposed to be in the negative degrees as the lows the next few days. And the high the next couple days is 11 degrees. I'm not looking forward to it. But because it's so cold, we're not really expecting more than an inch of snow for most of them. At least I feel like there was one other people who were like 3 to 6. And I was like, it is too cold for that. We need some warmth for snow. But we'll see what happens. You never know. But I can handle the cold. But what I can't handle is it was 60 degrees this weekend. It was almost 50 degrees today. Tomorrow it's 11. If my body can get acclimated to the cold, I love the cold. I love cooler weather. But a 40-degree temperature difference is ridiculous. I know. So, and in case you were wondering, I went with the Tecan Sleep and Dream. I was wanting something like, you're laying on the tripod and she's grabbing my knee. I swear. I went with something that I wanted, like, because I made it when I got home, but I made a huge pot of it, so I've been kind of working on my picture. But I wanted something kind of like sleepy time. I wanted something a little more just kind of relaxing and a little more cozy, but I didn't want sleepy time, and this one has lemongrass, lemon balm, and licorice, and I wanted something licoricey because I like licorice. But so I went with that, and then I'm doing double bagged. In case you were wondering. I've updated you on books. We did the calendar. And there's one more thing to do. I did get some books, but I'm planning on doing a book haul. I got my tax refund back and I set aside a little bit of money from it to get some books that I've been really wanting to get. So I'm going to do a little mini tax refund book haul, I think. And I don't think I ever posted my other one, so I need to get that set up. But anyway, but today I got what month is it? February? Fortune Cookie Soap Box. That wasn't the logo. There's the logo. And I think I showed last month it was Titanic in one of my vlogs. And this month, it is the Shop Around the Corner. And it says the extended collection launch party. So they're going to do a live show launch party. February 25th, 6 p.m. CST. So there's their thing. And so this is all You've Got Mail inspired. And then on the back, we've got all of our descriptions. And because this is one of their quarterly boxes, there'll be more than the normal amount of items. Ooh, this has a really pretty light blue tissue paper in it. Okay, and here is the sticker that we got. They always have 4 stickers for each collection, and then you randomly get one. This one is, don't you think daisies are the friendliest flower? Super cute. I haven't seen this movie in forever. Woo, look at all this. Okay, where should we start? We'll start with this one. Microderm Abrasion Scrub, and it is Dear Friend. Oh, that's definitely fruity. Let us see what it is. I feel like this vlog is going to be me sniffing a lot of things, but here we go. Okay, We like to start our scent descriptions off to you as if we're already in the middle of a conversation. A sweet blend of fresh, ripe kumquat, fresh picked oranges, and tropical pineapple, with the zest of lemons, limes, and fresh herbal notes of lavender and bergamot. Although it's no Scotch tape, this scent will surely make your breath catch in your chest. I like this scent a lot. I think I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. And I feel like with the slight hint of like the bergamot and the more florally notes, I would like this as like a shampoo and conditioner set for sure. So there's that. Okay, moving on. This is whipped cream in the scent Shopped Girl. This is, I kind of got away from using like normal lotions and I use their whipped creams. They're thicker. It's kind of a pretty pale pink. Ooh. I know what this is, but I don't like, I know this scent, but I don't know what it is. I don't know the name of it, but that's not usually a scent I enjoy. Let's see. So this is Shop Girl. All of this nothing has meant more to me than so many somethings. A romantic blend of honeysuckle, night blooming jasmine, and ylang ylang intertwines with woodsy notes of rich amber and delicate musk to make a floral, woodsy, aromatic fragrance. I think it's the amber and the jasmine mixing that I'm not a fan of. I don't know why she has to be in the middle of things. Hey, what are you doing? I think I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. We'll see. I might try a little bit in my skin later on just to see how it mixes with my chemistry, but I don't think I'm going to, that's not one for me for sure. And then this is FOX leave-in conditioner. Ooh. I love their leave-in conditioners. About once a week, because I have their deep conditioners, I have their normal conditioners, I have their leave-in conditioners, and I have their hair masks. And so usually once a week, I'll do a more intensive shampoo, and then I'll do a leave-in conditioner afterwards, and I'll just like really coat my hair in it and then kind of brush it in a little bit. So this is Fox, F-O-X. Oh, that's intriguing. Interesting. I feel like out of the bottle, like when it's sprayed, it'd be a little less strong. Yeah. That is amazing. You can spell Fox. Can you smell rich brown sugar, fresh baked apples, pears, and vanilla bean? So yeah, Big Bag Fox books can just go to. That's not what it smells like to me. I mean, now that I know what it is, I can smell the apple. But I don't really get the brown sugar or vanilla. It smells a little bit more florally to me. Every time my camera moves, someone is walking across the tripod. I don't even know how she manages to do that. I swear some days. Okay, so moving on. There's a lot in here. We've got 6 items in this box. Okay, I can't get this next one out here. So this is Bubble Crumble. I wanted it to be you. So this says, fill your bath with warm water. Use as much or as little bath crumbles as you like. It will fizz and fill your bath with luxury. Okay, so it's like literally a crumbled bath bomb. Okay, that's fun. I don't have a bath right now, but that's cool. So this is I wanted it to be you. And it looks like there's some flower petals in here. That's definitely has some floral notes, but I sense a little bit of sweetness too. There's some fine powder in there too. Probably shouldn't be inhaling that, but what is this? I wanted it to be you. Sweet coconut and vanilla with kisses of tart lime and ripe avocado. The scent will leave you smelling enchanting. I totally smelled florals in there. So I don't know. I definitely didn't get coconut. I think the vanilla was that sweetness I was smelling. And I totally didn't get avocado. But avocado's not a, like, super strong scent, I feel like. So, what do I know? Okay. We will just move on. Perfume oil. I love the perfume oil. So this is Are You Online? This one's just a clear oil. Okay. So let us smell. Need to. This is definitely more of a, like, florally woodsy scent. At least that's what's coming out for me. Okay. When you stumble into an over 30s chat room for a joke, sort of, and you start chatting to a guy about books, music, and how much each of you love New York. Swirling sandalwood incense, sweet berries, delicate white florals, and golden amber, and bouquets of sharpened pencils. That's definitely the florals and the sandalwood is what comes out. And that's not, I'd say like a 2.5 out of 5. I don't usually go for the sandalwood scents unless it's more of a base note. And this is definitely more of a top note. Okay. And then last one is their namesake, Fortune Cookie Soap. And this is the I Love Daisies is the scent. So we open it up. Oop. I'm trying not to tear the sticker, but that's not happening. So, look how cute. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, the 22nd. Oh, that's right. It's Tuesday. TWOS day. Because it's 2/2/22 on a Tuesday. My boss said she heard on the radio this morning that there was a lot of, like, marriages going on in Vegas today, since it was like a special day kind of a thing. But it is also a freezing day. We did not break 9 degrees from what I saw on my phone today. And when I woke up, it was -4. I did not want to get out of bed this morning. And it got to 1 degree by the time I got to work. So, yay. And then when I got home, I wanted to do a little cleanup. We got like less than half an inch, like 1/4 of an inch to a half an inch of snow. And so I wanted to kind of scrape up where, like, the mailman and where people walk their dogs on our sidewalk. I wanted to kind of scrape that up so it didn't turn into ice. Because we're supposed to get more snow tonight. But they're still staying in the 1 to 3 range. But anyway, so I was out there scraping, and we had a wind chill warning go into effect that was like the wind chill is going to be a -25 or lower. So if you're outside, you need to have face coverings and cover your hands and make sure all of skin is closed, and you don't want to be outside longer than 15 minutes because then you can have issues with frostbite. So that's yay. We don't usually get this cold in Colorado, but every once in a while we'll have a day or two. But so I wore my Hello Lovely sweatshirt today that says, "Baby, it's too cold outside. I'm going to stay inside and read a book." And I have not read a book today, but I probably will later. But I have some editing I need to finish tonight. But I've got a kitty screaming at me like normal. I made a big cup of tea because I was outside shoveling and cleaning up. I'm using my Nightmare Before Christmas mug. I don't care that we're past the holiday season. It's not like overly holiday outside of the characters themselves. So I use it all year round because this is one of my big mugs. This is the same size as my Hogwarts one I used yesterday, and the SpongeBob SquarePants mug I use a lot. But it's nice and super big. And tonight I am drinking Goji Raspberry Green Tea from the Republic of Tea. They call it a super fruit tea. I can't really taste the goji berries. It just tastes like a raspberry green tea. But they are like the paper bagless. So like they're not individually wrapped, and they're stringless and tagless and all of that good stuff. But I double bagged it since I had a big cup, and I like my green tea strong. But that's a good raspberry green tea. She's just coming through. I noticed yesterday I was kind of having issues getting things transferred over. So I noticed that somehow it cut off the last little bit of yesterday's video. So I will show you the last item in my fortune cookie filled box was this, and it's I Love Daisies. And this is their namesake. This is a fortune cookie soap. We usually get one of these during each of their quarterly boxes. There it is. It's got a cute little daisy on it, and it does have a little touch of shimmer. I'm guessing it's like mica. But I like the scent. It is florally, but it's more of a delicate floral, so it's one that I would use. It's not too perfumey for me. That's from the Avengers podcast. And every time I hear for me, I hear that in my head. But so the description for it is, this uplifting fragrance has a whisper of fruitiness with floral notes of jasmine and violet that are followed by warm musk. So that's that description. Overall, I really liked the scrub the most, as well as the leave-in conditioner. So when they do their extended launch, I'll probably go for those. A lot of the times their extended launches are scent collections that they've done before, where they had more than just what was in the box. But I don't know if this one was a collection from before. I haven't looked too much. I don't get on Facebook anymore, and they post all their spoilers and information on Facebook. And it's everything I can do to remember to check Facebook to see what the spoiler and scent descriptions are. But yeah, I don't even remember what March's is. I feel like March's, they didn't post a theme, but it was different. And then when I was leaving, my boss brought me this box. Then it was delivered to work. And I don't know what this is. Usually the only things I have shipped to work are pre-orders, because it being a business, it helps. I've noticed that if I have them shipped to work, they don't, like most of the time, even if they're shipped at home, I get like release day shipments, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And I've noticed if I have it shipped to my work address, because it's a business address, there's not, I don't know, they make sure it gets there during the week and not on the weekend, kind of a thing. I know what this is. Holy cow, that came really quickly. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Okay, I know what this is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what was on top. Look at that cute little dragon and a bumblebee. So it says, please handle with care so you don't startle the slumbering creatures that lie within. They've been known to nod off from time to time, especially the dragons, who love to sleep. Okay. And then there's a little thing on top. But okay, so there is a little letter here. Oh my gosh, I'm going to read this out loud. Hello, our creators told us that we'd be, B-E-E, traveling to a new home located in a faraway land. How exciting. Oh my gosh, it's not spelled perfectly. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. After what felt like such a long journey packed away in a dark, spooky box, but not too spooky, we're brave dragons after all. We're happy to have finally landed on your doorstep. You might have heard something about dragons being a bit scary, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. We're actually gentle creatures that startle quite easily, which is why many of us hide away in the most unexpected of places. You'll find our friends roaming the cards within. To understand them, there are reference sheets with keywords to help interpret their meanings, but please use this deck in whatever way you'd like, letting your intuition guide you along the way. Just a little warning that some of us can be a bit chatty, but we promise to keep quiet when your day comes to a close. If you ever hear the floors creaking a bit, try not to worry. We're just stretching our legs, trying to find a warm spot to rest for the night until you call upon us again. Always by your side, your new deck. I'm like tearing up. Guys, this unboxing is going to be an experience. I can already tell. So then there's this little packet. Look at this. Oh my gosh. These are stickers. Okay. Ah, look at this. Pretty dragons. Pretty dragons. Oh my gosh. Look at this artwork. Okay. Look at, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay. And this is wooden and it has a little magnet on the back. And then there's this little tiny green envelope. Oh my gosh. So this is our certificate of authenticity. I have number 578. I don't know if you can kind of guess. Obviously, it has something to do with dragons, but then there is this sealed envelope with bunnies on it. And then here's another package. And this is not sealed. Okay, so this is going to be for the other one. Okay. So, if you could not tell, there is a tarot deck that I have been really wanting for a very long time. And it is made by creators in the UK. So I've kind of been holding off on getting it because of shipping and it's a little more on the pricier end. But I don't know when they started doing teasers, but I signed up for their newsletter so I can just kind of keep abreast of whatever they're doing. And they have been working, so it's, gosh, I saw it on, hold on, it was on the ticket of authenticity. So it is a tarot deck. I can't remember if I know I said deck, but I couldn't remember. So it's 3 Trees Tarot. And so I'll link their website down below. And it's absolutely gorgeous artwork. It's all kind of nature based. Okay, so we're going to do this one first, since we already kind of went through all the dragon stuff. So we'll do their first deck second. But they started releasing sneak peeks and little artwork snippets when they were working on it, but they were creating a second deck about dragons. And then when they put the pre-orders up for the dragon deck, they had a special bundle deal where you could get these extra little stickers and stuff, and the dragon deck and their original deck for a cheaper price if you combined everything. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This tissue paper is like super cute. It's got little bunnies on it. So here is packaging. We'll take it out of the paper. And this does say this packaging is compostable and biodegradable. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's like stamped in. I don't know if you can tell, but it has. So this deck is called Smoke, Ash, and Embers. So it says, wander into a magical world where dragons do exist. created by Stephanie Burrows, illustrated by Adam Ohlers. Dwelling inside, you'll find 78 Raider White Smith inspired tarot cards, 2 keyword reference sheets, and a multitude of dragons eagerly waiting to help guide you along the way. And then it's got the copyright information and all of that. Oh my gosh. They're all cold. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. First of all, the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. And I've heard amazing things from their first deck. Okay, so here is just a blank card, but this is the back of the cards. This is really pretty purple and black dragon with like vines and flowers. So this is the back of all the cards. Okay, and then here's our little reference cards. They're double-sided. And then here is the deck. Okay, so there's 2 blank cards. That's cool. I might turn one of these into a magnet or use it as a bookmark or something. Okay. Oh, and then here's a little thank you card. Okay. So, as normal, the Fool is always on top. Look at this artwork. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So excited. Okay, so I'm going to go like step by step later, but I want to try to find some of my favorite cards. So I love cup cards. And the cups are water-based and they're all about emotions. So let us see. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. So pretty. Ooh, look at the tower. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. Oh, so gorgeous. So gorgeous. I love it. I love it. Okay. So let us find, here is the 2 of Cups. So we've got 2 little water dragons. And then there's 2 little acorn cups that are kind of hidden in. Let's see if I'll cover my face if it'll. Oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. And then we always got to look at the 10 of Cups because that's the AGA card. Or that's what I call it. I call it the AGA card. Oh, look at them. It's their whole little family. Oh, look at that. Oh, so cute. So cute. All right. So we've got like water dragons. We'll kind of go through. So for the pentacles, we'll show this one because this one's cute. So it looks like there's like green leafy dragons. Look at him, he's covered in rabbits. That's so cute. This is so cute. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna kind of go quickly through since you guys can't really see these, and I'm not doing a flip through. But if you want me to do a flip through, I can try to record a flip through here. But oh, card down. I want to at least show you what each of the dragons are inspired. Okay, so then swords. Okay, so for swords, oh, here we go. Here's one where you can really see them. Swords are going to be black dragons. And this is the air element. Ooh, I really like how the 8 of Swords is done. And instead, because typically you see a woman blindfolded, surrounded by a bunch of swords. And while there's swords around him, he's covering his eyes himself. I'm assuming it's a boy dragon. Because we played in, I've played in a couple dragon campaigns that we played in Pathfinder. And the last one that we did, we like brought dragons back into the world. And the first one was like we were hunting dragons. Anyway, it was a whole big arc where there was different campaigns in like an overarching storyline. But my friend had a black dragon and he was a boy. So to me, black dragons are all boys now. Oh my gosh. So fun. So fun. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I love this for the Ten of Swords. Because you can tell he's kind of like burnt out and there's the swords everywhere, but you get that tiny little bit of hope with all of the flowers coming through the cracks. There's 2 Ten of Swords. I will be removing this one from my deck. Because look at that. Oh. I'm glad that there's 2 options. I'm glad that there's 2 options. Ugh. I don't want to see dragons dead or dying. Ugh. Okay, and then wands, which makes sense. This is our fire element. We have red dragons. So in the dragon campaign, I had a red dragon. So here's 5 of wands. Let's look at all the little red dragons. So cute. So cute. Ooh, look at him. He is cool. Oh, so fun. So fun, so fun. Okay. Oh. And I'm not sure what this one is. It's not labeled, so I'm not sure what this card is. I'll have to see what she says in her things. So that is the Smoke, Ash, and Ember tarot deck. I can't wait till the next new moon. I usually, for my tarot decks, when I get a new tarot deck, I like to go through and just kind of glance at all the cards. I'll probably go through a lot slower and go through it, but then I like to put my cards out under the new moon. A lot of people do it under the full moon because of the full moon light, but for me, I see the full moon as more the beginning of the cycle and new starts. And while you can get power from full moons, I like to kind of start fresh. And for me, that new moon energy is more cleansing to me. It just, in my mind, that's how it works. It's more cleansing. So we're going to go through. It looks like there's a little note similar to the one I read for the dragon deck. And this one is about the first one. And then here's a little card that is the Ace of Cups. But it's like on a little business card. So this is for her first tarot deck. And then I'm going to just pop open this and see what's in this. Okay, I was trying not to rip this envelope, but apparently it's just going to do whatever the heck it wants and rip down the side. Jeez. So, trying to figure out, okay, it looks like there's like little pieces of artwork in here. Okay, so this is dragon artwork, it looks like. So we've got a dragon on a dandelion and one of the sword cards. And then that looks like one of the cup cards. So 3 little pieces of artwork, super cool. So this one actually goes to the dragon deck. And then I will pull out the other deck. I just love this artwork and it's just so pretty. Okay, so the original deck is Oak, Ash, and Thorn. So this was their first deck that they did. So this one says beautiful tarot cards with roots in the enchanting natural world. So there's that. And it's the same, like, stamped in. And then there's the back if you want to see the information. Okay, so we will just get right into it. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, so we've got our thank you card. And then a blank cards again. And this is the back of this deck. It's all got kind of an autumny orangey feel. So there's the blank cards. And then I'm guessing there's one on the other end. Yep. And then we've got our reference cards. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and here's the Fool. And these are all going to be like foresty. So I'm just going to quickly go through here and pull. Ooh, look at this stag as the emperor. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And there is a lot of different kind of creatures in here already. So I'm just going to, we'll see what the tower looks like. So the tower is kind of similar. It's the tree with the lightning coming down, but it's got crows instead of black dragons. Okay, so let's see who... All right, so for our cups, it looks like we've got the same... Let's see, I'm just going to find them. Here we go, 6 of cups. So it looks like we've got the same, like, acorn cups, but the animal for the cups is these squirrels. Super cute, super cute. I know, you're super cute too. Hey, 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 stop messing with stuff. All right. Oh my God. Look at the King of Cups. He's a squirrel with a little crown. Oh my God. The squirrel has a crown. Oh, there's a cat in my lap now. Hi. Okay, so then we've got pentacles. So we'll just do 2 of pentacles here. And 2 of pentacles is bunnies. Looks like super cute. Mama and babies. Alrighty, and I'll just kind of quickly go through and find... We gotta see. Ah, the King of Pentacles does not have a crown. Okay, so the swords, it looks like, is ravens. So let me find a cool one. Oh, cool. Ooh. So here's the 6 of swords. I really like that. Okay. All right, and then this one is the 8 of swords. This one is a little more typical with the blindfold on, and he's tied up by flowers, which you know that, ooh. I do wish that this one, at least this one isn't bloody, and what's coming out is butterflies. So it's still horrendous, but what's coming out is butterflies, so it's not as bad as that dragon one that was covered in blood. That was just a little too much for me. Ah, the King of Swords gets a crown. And then the wands. The wands are foxes. So there's the 3 of wands. Oh my gosh, so cute. All right, we got to look at the King of Wands. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, the Queen and the King both have crowns. Look at them. Ugh, I love them. I love these so much. Ooh, and then there's an extra card. And it's got the 4 creatures and the dragon, and a dragon. And it's possibilities. Interesting. That's cool. All right. So I'm going to put these back, and then I will be right back, and we will do update on bookish stuff. So give me 1 second, and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. So we will do a couple things for the night, and then I need to get to editing. So yesterday in our calendar, we traveled to Whitmore Manor. We decided to go during the day. We made our roll. It was fine. Everything's good. And focus. Thank you. So now we are at Whitmore Manor. So let us see. Oop. Okay, so we are waiting till nighttime, no matter what time we snuck there, looks like, to sneak in. So moonlight falls upon the Whitmore Manor. From a distant bush, you observe a couple of guards keeping watch. The night is quiet. How will you get past the guards and into the house? So get past the guards. A, sneak past the guards, roll a d20 plus dexterity, reminder, stealthy. B, distract the guards, roll a d20 plus intellect. Or C, attack the guards, roll d20 plus attack, then roll damage. So we are a dex-based character, and we were tasked to find proof and evidence that they are rigging this. So I feel like it'd be better to be a little bit sneakier so that they can't destroy whatever evidence before we get there. So let us try sneaking. And we are stealthy, so we get a +2, and our dex is a +3. So we have a +5 going in. So that's pretty good. So we will go with option A, sneak past the guards. So let me find my d20. Can I get good luck? Brrr. I don't know. It was kind of half-assed there, kitty face. Let us see. It's an 11, but that gives us a 16. Okay. We wanted a 14. Cool. You're as quiet as the wind and unseen in the shadows when you sneak past the guards. They continue to converse and pay no attention to you. Cool. Sweet. We are done. We are inside. And we can move forward. Cool. Simple. One roll. We are done. We are updated on our calendar. We are good to go. So let me just stick this away. And put everything back. Alrighty. There's that. And I decided when I was putting my cards away, I think I'm going to use these because I got special stickers and little art cards. I'm going to turn those into magnets, and I'm going to save one of the blank cards from each deck, and I'm going to use these as bookmarks because why not? And I have those decks. I have the decks just sitting here, and they're so pretty. Look at this. I love the like tone, and they were just kind of sitting here. And the original one has writing on both sides, but this one just has the like thorns. But I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. I just keep looking at them because they're right there. Oh, one's back, one's upside down. There we go. And I didn't notice it before, but it has all 4 of the little creatures. It's got the rabbit, the squirrel, the fox, and the raven. I was like, what is that again? I can't wait to have these on my shelf. All right, so last things last. Best things last. Book updates. So quick update for Under the Oak Tree. I've been able to read a couple more chapters since I last updated you on it. And so the princess is here. Maxie was kind of showing her around, and Maxie isn't quite sure what to think of the princess. I mean, first of all, the princess is very much not a normal princess. She's been trained as a warrior. She fights as a sorceress. And so she has a really good camaraderie with the knights, especially the Rem Dragon Knights, because she was there for the campaign against the dragon. And she's definitely more tomboy. And they're exploring the town of Anatole, and the princess keeps making comments. And Maxie isn't sure what to think of them, and she's not sure what to think of the princess, and she's trying really hard to not overstep it all. And when Riften has been around them both at the same time, he's been very curt with Maxie, and she kind of feels hurt by it because she feels he made her feel inferior and like she couldn't take care of herself, and you know, just the normal kind of stuff. But I'm hoping that when the princess leaves or something happens with the princess that kind of gets them both to open up more with each other. but we'll see what happens. And then I've been using my fast passes to read Heart of Darkness. And it was, we got bad. We got bad. And I kind of wanted to skip forward because I wasn't sure how dark we were going to get with this. And this has been a mostly like fun web novel. Not that they can't get dark, but I wasn't expecting it to get dark. So our heroine Angelica moves in with one of her not friends. And she's going to help her try to find someone who would be willing to marry her and take her in and kind of help her with issues. Then a man comes, and Lord Green, I think, and he says that her father owes him a bunch of money, and he just got back from town, and he heard that her father has passed, and he wants her to pay it off. And she's like, I have no money. And he's like, well, then you got to sell your estates, but even that isn't enough to buy it off, so you can choose to work for me. And so she decides that to try to save the estate and what little inheritance her brother has, she'll work for him as a maid. And then he decides, you'll make me more money as a prostitute. So she gets sent to a brothel. And she is too accepting of this. She's too accepting of the fact that her father might have owed this dude money. She doesn't seek any sort of counsel or help. And yes, she's a traitor, but she doesn't seek any sort of help or second opinion from anybody. And she is too accepting of the fact that she kind of tries to run away when she gets sent to the brothel before. Like when she finds out where she's getting sent and she has to go pack up, the maids kind of help her escape. And when she gets there, she's too accepting of the fact that she was a noble lady. She is pure. And now she's expected to be a prostitute. She was a little too accepting of that fact. And I get Alexa Dismiss trying to make the best of your situation. But even though she is being marked as a traitor, she had a relationship with the king, a friendly relationship. She has a relationship with Raven, or at least is friendly with Raven, and could have gone to them for help before it got this bad. Or at least reached out to see if there was anything they could do or assist her in at least not getting drug into this situation. So it comes to it, somebody purchases her, it's going to be her first night, she's going to make a lot of money because she's pure, and he gets a little more aggressive than she was expecting, and she kind of freaks out, and she runs. And this is where, and then we finally are caught up to the prologue, because she is running through the woods, and she's hiding, and she's trying to escape them, and it starts raining, and she's not wearing shoes or anything. And she shows up at Raven's castle, which is called the Wolf's Den, I think. Something like that. Wolves something. And she goes inside. Nobody's there. And then she kind of passes out. Raven comes across her. I think she might have seen him in his demon form. And then he did his mind thing and removed that memory from her. But she spends a day alone in the castle. She kind of finds some rice, and she's able to make basic food for herself because she learned at least the basics when she was a maid for a few weeks for this Lord Green. And then it ends where she comes across, the chapter where I was ended where she comes across Raven in the study, and he's just like, I expect you to leave tomorrow, kind of a thing. And we also get a little bit of him. He has done a lot more damage to his face than he did himself this time. And he wants to die, pretty much. He doesn't want to live anymore. He doesn't want to try to heal his heart. He doesn't want to be redeemed. He either wants to go back to being his greedy, selfish, worst version of himself that he can be, or he wants to die. But the arch person that's trying to help him redeem himself does not want him to die. And he's kind of starting to put together that his black heart has a spot of red, and it's probably because of Angelica, and she's probably his demon's mate. And he doesn't want that because he doesn't think he's worthy and, typical stuff. But we are finally caught up to the prologue and I am ready to move forward. I'm ready for them to have a relationship and let's get going. So I'm going to wait. About 8 o'clock is when I get the notification that Under the Oak Tree, the next chapter is available. So I will read my next chapter of Under the Oak Tree about that time and then use my fast passes to read as much as I can to get caught up on Heart of Darkness. So far, I'm enjoying Heart of Darkness. I'm not liking it as much as Under the Oak Tree, but I'm still enjoying it. And it's still keeping me intrigued enough with the demon historical kind of aspects going on. And then I read more of Warrior's Regret last night. This is by November Dawn. And this is book 1 in her Demon Hybrid Warriors. I might have just said that. I'm about 40% of the way through. And I'm really enjoying this so far. It's kind of taking some turns that I wasn't quite expecting. And while there are parts of it that are a little predictable, I'm enjoying the writing enough that that's not bothering me. And I really, really love Aster's voice. She's very relatable. Even though she is a demon hybrid, she's just really relatable. And it's really easy to get inside her head and to be in her voice and her POV. And I am loving it. And we are seeing Cole, he's like, you need to be at least basic training and self-defense and stuff. And other people are like, yeah, sure, you should probably be doing this. And so he takes it upon himself to train her. And she likes him. She's very attracted to him. Every time that they kind of touch lightly, she feels different. She gets like the tingles and all those kind of normal things. And Aster hasn't kind of put it together why this is different. And Cole is like, I was just supposed to observe her. I was just supposed to help her out, get her a new job, get her away from the weird situation that I didn't mean to put her in. But he keeps finding little ways to touch her and touch her fingers and touch her hand. And I'm really liking it. But we're at the 40% mark, so I need a little bit more. But I do know Aster doesn't want a workplace relationship. She's like, I worked for 3 years at my other place, was able to avoid any workplace relationships. I want to try to avoid that here. And then on top of the fact that she doesn't want to start a relationship with someone knowing she has a mate out in the world. And she herself doesn't feel comfortable or like she can fully give herself to someone knowing she has a mate. She doesn't know it's Cole. I don't know how long this is going to be until she finds out. I'm hoping it's not the final conflict. I feel like it might be the final conflict, but I'm hoping if it is, it at least pops up in the 60 to 70 mark so that we have a good chunk of time for them working it through and then happiness. But we'll see what happens. But I'm really enjoying it so far. So far, it's probably 4 to 5 stars, but we'll see how it goes. Because it's just, well, it's nothing absolutely mind-blowing. I'm easily sucked in. And I just like being in Aster's POV. It's a really relatable, fun POV for me. And I'm enjoying it. So, I'm going to finish editing last week's vlog. I don't think it'll be up on Wednesday like normal. I think it'll probably be up on Tuesday, but that's okay. We make do. And then I'm going to read more. Hopefully I can finish Warrior's Regret tonight. I feel like if I'm not super exhausted by the time I get in bed and start reading, I probably will finish it because it's been very hard for me to put it down once I'm in it. When we left work, I let my car, I was at like 34% this morning. And then I park out past the gate at my work. And so when I close the gate, like when I go out to my car, I start my car and let it warm up. And I really wanted it to warm up today with how cold it was, and then shut the gates and stuff. And then I was like, well, I have a little bit of time. So I was like, I'll read a little bit. And I read 6% before I was like, okay, I need to put the book down and drive home now. I can't waste all my gas just sitting here reading. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm glad I had it and that it was on the FaRoFeb list. So if you're looking for low fantasy, unique take on demons and like rejected mates trope, I'm really enjoying it so far. I do have to say, I haven't read very many rejected mate tropes before, just a couple, but it is really helping the situation that I feel like it's really helping that he rejected her sight unseen, because we won't have that extra angst where it's gonna be more, I didn't want to mate, I didn't want a relationship, I'm sorry I rejected you, not I saw you, I met you, I didn't like you, and then I rejected you. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but I feel like it'll be a little bit more redeemable because it was rejected sight unseen. But we'll see what happens. I'll stop blabbering at you. This has been a super long update, but I'm going to finish editing, and then I will be back to update you, hopefully later tonight, but we will see what happens. Apparently, I'm surprised I was able to update you just a little bit in the book instead of surprised I finished it again. But we'll see what happens. Until then, happy Hump Day. It is Wednesday, February 23rd. It's been a fairly busy day. It's just after 7 o'clock. The Avalanche game is on. Right now we're in the second intermission. They're playing the Red Wings tonight, and they are up 2-1. If you didn't know, at least back in the day when the Avs were first a thing, the Red Wings were like our big super rivals, because at that point we were both in the same division, and it was always like a big Stanley Cup fights, and that was one of like the big rivalries back in the day. So it still is for the fans that were around at that time, but not so much anymore because all of the players are super young. Although there is a Bertuzzi on the Red Wings still. And he did some nasty plays a couple of years ago. I remember they pulled Matt Calvert over the sideboards onto the Red Wings bench, and he dropped his gloves and he started uppercutting him, and that was a no-go. And then there are a couple of Red Wings guys that like held him over the bench while he was getting punched in the face. So that was kind of a crazy situation, but not too much is going on. I've been working on getting my video uploaded, so that should be up tomorrow at 9, although you're seeing this, so it'll be up last week. And I've been working on my Love Has Sprung TBR, because that'll be going up on my blog post tomorrow, so I'm trying to finalize a TBR or idea list for that. As for reading, I did read my web novels last night. Not too much has happened, so I'm not really gonna I am still reading them every day, but I'll only kind of update those when something crazy happens kind of moving forward. But right now, we've kind of settled. We'll go ahead and do the calendar real quick, and then we'll talk about Warrior's Regret. So yesterday, we made it to Whitmore Manor, and we were able to sneak in without getting noticed. So let us see what we have to do today. Ooh, some sort of gate or grate or something. Looks like a sewer grate maybe. Okay, so the doors and windows to the manor are all locked. With the guards patrolling regularly, you search for another way in. After surveying the house, you find a sewer a short distance away. The tunnel leads directly to the manor and is big enough to squeeze through. You just need to stop yourself from retching and vomiting and get through the gate. So 1, deal with the smell, roll d20 plus Constitution, reminder, danger sense, which is not something that we have. And then 2A or in 2B. So 2A is pick the lock, so D20 plus dexterity, reminder locksmith. Or 2B, break through the bars, roll a D20 plus strength. So we're going to go with the dex option because we are a dex-based character. And that'll give us that little tiny edge. So first off, deal with the smell. Constitution and danger sense, and we do have danger sense, so that adds a +2, plus our constitution is a 0, so we get a +2 to whatever we roll. And let's see, 14, so 16. Okay, 15 or more, you've dealt with worse. You bear through it and get on with the job. So cool, it doesn't really affect us. So now we are going to try to pick the lock. So this is just a straight up dex roll for us. So 15 plus 3, so 18. Okay, cool. We were looking for an 11. So the lock on the grate clicks open and you are inside. Once inside, you travel along the tunnel until you find an opening to a trash room within the manor. Cool. So we are in a trash room now. And then we can start searching for evidence to prove that they are rigging the competition. So that's fun. That's super simple. And we are done with our calendar for today. Alrighty. So yesterday I read more of Warrior's Regret. And I am 72% through. And I'm still really enjoying it. Nothing too much has happened. They did end up, Cole, I think was his name. Hold on a second. Hold, please. Yeah, Cole. He had to do some sort of testing or something, so he wasn't able to train Aster for a couple of days. And so he was just like, you can do some just like cardio training on the treadmills or whatever, and he gave her a list of like things she can do for the few days that they weren't able to train together. And then he invited her to inspect the sensors around the perimeter, and so they were able to go hiking in like the forest that's kind of surrounding where this base is. And we find out from his perspective that it didn't really need to be done, and they only really go out and check the sensors when they get reports of a malfunction. And even then, when they go out, it's a group of people going to check the malfunction, not Cole and a civilian. But he wanted the time to be alone with her and show her the forest, because he's seen her kind of looking out the window at times. And so he just wanted to show her the forest and kind of get her away from the base and get some alone time with her. And there was a very tense-filled moment where they almost kissed. And then it was super tense in the ride back, because it was like, why isn't it? Because they're both just like, I want to so much, but they both have their reasons for not doing it. And then he kisses her in the garage when they get back to the base. And it turns into like a full-out make-out. And they kind of start getting a little more serious, and she's like, hold on, I have to tell you, I have a mate. And he says, I don't care. And then Aster kind of freaks out, because she's like, of all the things you could have said, that's the worst thing in this moment. And she was a little overwrought, but I still understood why that wasn't something that she wanted to hear. So then they kind of stayed away from each other. And then she finds out that he is going with a group of demons and other hybrid warriors to deal with some issues in San Diego. So he's going away for a little bit, and she finds out that it'll be like a week or two. And she doesn't want him to go out and get hurt. And so she approaches him and offers to bring him some food before he leaves. So she brings him a couple of slices of pizza, and they have dinner. And then they kiss again. And they don't really talk too much outside of just the fact that she will wait for him and he will come back to her, kind of a thing. So we'll see. We're 70%, and they have gotten a little bit hot and heavy, and the tension has been really good. But I was kind of expecting a little bit more steam, but I am enjoying the tension so far. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how much they're gonna skip forward. Holy moly, kitty. She is just super excited because I'm talking. Oh my gosh, look at you. I'm plucking you like a chicken. Look at all these tufts sticking out. She had all this fuzz sticking out of the side of her neck. She was just scratching herself, and she's shedding like a maniac. But yeah, so he is in California, I think is where it was. So he's out of state doing that. And Aster is kind of just hoping he's okay and waiting for him to come back to the base where they are at. So that's where I stopped. Nothing too much happened, but I'm hoping now that I just need to finish writing up my blog post for tomorrow and get the rest of my links in for the different ideas I have for books to read for the first board of Love Is Sprung. And then I'm just going to read the rest of the night. I've got the game. I've got the third period of the game, and then I've also got the finale of Celebrity Big Brother tonight. I really don't care if I don't want any of them to win. I'm not a fan of any of them. And it's kind of been a really rough season because there were a lot of people I liked, or not a lot, but there were some people I liked coming in, and the ones that I was really rooting for got out pretty quickly. And I was a fan of Todrick Hall before Celebrity Big Brother. And I don't think I want to call myself a fan of his at this moment. Depending on how he deals with things once he's out of the Big Brother house and can really see how the things he said were not okay and what, I don't know, apologies or I don't know, how he deals with the backlash that he's gotten since he's been in there. And I will say, some of the backlash has come from what has aired on TV from the actual show. But most of the backlash that is coming from Big Brother fans is from clips and sound bites that have been pulled from the live feeds that weren't shown on the normal show. So, Alexa, dismiss. Usually I don't really watch the live feeds, and I haven't really paid too much attention to the live feeds, but I do listen to a Big Brother podcast that's by two friends. It's called Oh Brother, I think. I'll link them down below. But they have the live feeds, and so they always mention things that happen in the live feeds. And things started kind of hitting the fan with Todrick. And so I started following a couple Twitter accounts and a YouTube account that kind of summarizes what's going on with the live feeds every day and post clips and things like that. So it's just gotten worse over time. And part of me is upset about the things that he said. But then I'm also slightly upset with some of the other people that he was saying these things to, because they did not call him out. And he was called out a couple of times, but he wasn't called out for the things that were really bad. I'm sure, I don't know if you want to know this, I don't know if you really care about this, but there was another person, Shayna. She was Miss America at some point. I guess she was married to one of the people from Blink 182, and so she's done like reality shows, but she's mainly just done like pageant stuff. And I guess she owns the franchise rights or something to Nevada, Miss USA Nevada and Utah, I think, or something like that. But anyway, she's a huge Big Brother fan, and so she was kind of teaching her part of the alliance, or like one of her alliances, because she kind of had two alliances. But anyway, he got super attacked personal and was saying things like she only is famous because she slept with famous people and that she slept her way to being famous and things like that. And that's not okay. That is not okay to say about anybody, even more so in this day and age. And he's said disparaging remarks about almost every single person in the house. And I just, at this point, I can't call myself a fan of him. And the reason why I learned of him was because he was friends with Taylor Swift and he'd done projects with Taylor Swift. And so that's how I kind of learned of him. And so I'm hoping, depending on what happens, I don't know. I just feel like Taylor Swift is very, like, she steps up for women and she's very aware and vocal about women's rights. And I don't know if it necessarily needs to be something said publicly, but I do want her, well, I guess maybe it does need to be said publicly because Todrick said these things publicly, but I want there to be discussion between her and Todrick that these are not okay things to say about women, no matter whether you like them or not. I don't know. I just thought it was weird, but anyway, I don't know. If you want to learn more about it, just check on Twitter or any of like the Big Brother. There's been a lot of YouTube videos and stuff made about it. But anyway, so I'm going to watch that after the game. Third period is just about to start. They're getting all excited. So I'm going to get off and finish the game and finish my blog post. And then I will update you once I have hopefully finished Warrior's Regret later tonight. Until then. Happy Thursday. It is just after 8:30. Is it Friday yet? I'm over this. I'm over this day. I'm over this week. I'm ready for the weekend. But I do have some updates. And I was like, I need to film my clip. So I forced myself to get all cozy. I took a shower. And I went grocery shopping and had to take care of some things tonight. And then I took a shower and then I've just been relaxing. And I was like, I should get up and film my clip and do an update. And I didn't want to, but I finally figured out. It took me forever. So last night I finished Warrior's Regret by November Dawn. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. I really liked it. It was really fun. Really unique. I really enjoyed the take. So when I last updated, Cole, our hero, was off fighting demons or off on a mission kind of a thing in San Diego, I think. And while he was gone for like 2.5-ish weeks, about there. But while he was gone, Aster, that's her name. I was completely spacing. So Aster got these weird like tattoos on her stomach, and she was kind of freaking out, and they weren't going away, and they were growing, or at least she called them, I guess they aren't technically tattoos because they're more like darker skin patches, but she said they were lines. So I pictured them like thicker henna tattoos kind of, but it was more just like lines, and then they started branching out. So she goes to the doctor on base, and there are mate marks. And so mate marks appear to basically signify that you're fertile when you're around your mate. And, you know, they're like, oh, congratulations. And then she starts freaking out because she thinks that it's her subconscious that's causing these, because she knows she has a mate. And even though things are happening with Cole, she feels like, I don't know, she feels like it's all subconscious, and now she's freaking out because she doesn't want Cole to come back and think that she's been like cheating on him because these mate marks appeared when he was gone. And so she's like completely freaking out. Cole shows up. It's a super cute reunion. And then they finally have a moment alone, and she's like, I have to talk to you. And he's like, okay. And she shows him because she doesn't know how to say it. And he's like, you have mate marks? And she says, yes. And he gets excited. And she's just like, I promise I didn't cheat on you. And she's freaking out. And he's like, you're my mate. And so he wanted to talk to her about it anyway when he came back and just kind of address the situation. But she kind of broke it for him with these mate marks. And so it was really interesting. And it happened, like, I was kind of expecting it to come up soon, but I liked the way that it kind of all broke down and the way that it happened. And then I also really liked that when they got into this argument, he was like, are you okay? And he basically made sure she was okay. He checked in on her like once or twice via text message. And then he just kind of left her alone and let her process and deal with the revelations. He didn't push it on her. He stayed patient. He let her work through it on her own. And he just let her know, I'm here when you're ready to talk. And there was one moment where she went out and she was coming back to her spot in the dormitory, and she saw him kind of pacing and like going to press the button to get let into her building, and then he doesn't, and he like forces himself to walk away. So we did see that, because she was also kind of like, why isn't he fighting for me? So she was both angry at him but also wanting him to fight for her, kind of a thing, and prove that he actually did want her. But then when she sees that, she starts kind of dealing with things. And then basically, so I think I might have mentioned it, but she can't really grow claws. That's not been a demon power that she's been able to manifest. And she gets very tiny little claws, like very tip of her fingers. And she gets excited and she realizes that she has nobody to tell, because all of her, like, she has friends, but it's very superficial friendships. She doesn't really get intimate for anyone. And she kind of realizes that that's part of, like, she had this issue before, but when she was rejected sight unseen from Cole, it made it even worse, that she doesn't feel like, if her own mate doesn't want her, who's supposed to be her perfect partner, how can she expect anybody else to want her? So that was heartbreaking to read, but she kind of did some deep diving on herself. And then when she gets excited about this and she doesn't want anyone to tell, and then she's like struggling because it's been a little bit on how to reach out to Cole. And then she ends up going to the cafeteria to get some food. And then she's like, and then she texts him and she's just like, I'm really hungry. She doesn't like ask him, do you want to have dinner? She's just, I'm really hungry for dinner, kind of a thing. And she just leaves it like that. And then she like freaks out and she's like, should I tell him I'm in my apartment? Should I tell him to meet me at the cafeteria? And then like a couple minutes later, he shows up with food and and like a little bouquet of flowers that he had run out to the forest to pick from a meadow. So it was super cute. And I liked the way that they talked about things and how he was just so, like, he wasn't blunt, but he was very just like, this is how it is. I like you. I'm going to be patient and trust you. And I really liked it. I can't wait for more. I was looking at November Dawn, and I think this is her first book. She's in FaRoFeb had a big announcement that they did. That is a anthology that's coming out in September. And she's one of the authors in there. And from what I can tell, these are her only 2 set to be published books. But I did see on this one, it is marked as book 1 in the Demon Hybrid Warriors series. So I think we're going to get more books. But I can't wait. I followed her on Amazon so I can get notified for anything. I need to follow her on Goodreads too. I didn't see if she had a website or anything yet, but if she does, I'm going to sign up for a newsletter because I really enjoyed it and I want to read more in the series and learn more. So 4.5 stars. It wasn't quite 5 stars because it was a little bit predictable. And it was, I think, Amazon said it was only like 170 pages, so I do wish it was a little bit longer. And I did want the steam, like, it felt longer than 174 pages. Like, it felt more like 250 when I was reading it. And so I was wanting the steaminess to come in earlier. but I still enjoyed it. So 4.5 stars. Just didn't quite knock it out of the ballpark for me. But I'm super excited. And then I've spent a lot of tonight trying to figure out what in the heck I'm going to pick up. Because I have one prompt left for my FaRoFeb board. And that is FaRoFeb author. Which is super simple. However, I was hoping I can double it up with my Winter's Kiss board prompts that I have left. And they aren't really working. Because I have. Oh, I should tell you too. I'm going to use Warrior's Regret for Winter's Kiss as published in 2021. And then for FaRoFeb, I'm using it for low fantasy. So I have 7 books left for Winter's Kiss Board 1. I'm going to be cramming in a lot of novellas these last few days of February to try to get this done. But a lot of them are like winter-based, or set in Canada, or wintry cover, or starts with the letter K. And I was struggling to find something that would fit fantasy and the remaining prompts I have left. But I should have known. My fantasy queen, Grace Draven, pulled through. She has a novella called Sunday's Child that was in a anthology or just a bind up of 2 or 3 authors. And it is a fantasy holiday novella. So I have it purchased, but I don't have space on my Kindle. So now that I know what I'm going to pick up next, I'm going to plug my Kindle into my computer, and I'm just going to delete. I feel like I should just delete almost everything that's on there and then just be able to read down and add load books as I need them. But I might just go through and pick a random letter of the alphabet and then just delete all of those authors that I probably won't get to anytime soon. And then I'll just have to be better about re-adding things to my Kindle. Could I get a new Kindle and not stick with my first generation Fire? Probably, but this works for now. And it saves me from spending money, and my Kindle is still at least working. So until I start having issues with it working, I'll address it then. So I'm going to sync my Kindle and then get that back on there, because I had it downloaded, but so I had the little thing that was re-download to your Kindle, and then it was you don't have enough space. Dang it. So I got to clear some stuff off my Kindle. I know. And I even went through and made I looked at all of the books that I had that I didn't delete ebook versions that I had on my Kindle that I've had paperback versions of now. And I already did that and forgot that I did that. So I wasn't able to delete anything. But anyway, so I'm going to stop rambling at you. Oh, calendar. We'll do my calendar and then I'll stop for that. And then if I finish the novella tonight, then we'll do that. So yesterday we found the sewer grate and made our way inside. So let us see really quickly. Today, okay, this might not be super quick. We are inside Whitmore Manor. So we got another map. Okay. The manor is quiet as any residents are likely asleep. Now inside, you need to look around to locate where any documents of the tournament and festival may be stored. Navigate the dungeon like a maze, begin at the S, start, and make your way to the end labeled with a star. Resolve each room you visit before choosing your next. So we start up here in this corner, here, and then we're in 4. So I want to hit all of the rooms just for fun. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to go 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, and then hit the star. So 4 is first. You leave the trash room you entered from and walk into the cleaning room. Dirty towels and linen sit in large piles. Clean ones are folded up nicely on shelves. Dirty dishes are soaking in water basins. Nothing of use is found here. Okay. So, room 5. You enter a kitchen and cooking area to find a couple of servants chatting and doing light work. They stop as you enter and turn to stare at you in surprise. They are unsure of your intentions. Convince them you mean no harm or threaten them to remain quiet. All right. We're going to try to convince them. It'd be better to threaten them, but we're going to try convincing first. So charisma is a -2. And we are not persuasive. So we just have our D20 -2. And we're looking for a 13 or more because it's 11 or more. So we're looking for a 13. And that's an 8. The servants take no chances and quickly run out. They may have gone to alert the guards. You will not have much time to explore. Take a -2 penalty on all rolls today and tomorrow. Dang it. Okay. All right. Well, that sucks, but we tried. So number 3. The dining room table still contains remnants of the evening meal. It has not been cleaned up. There could be something useful if you search around. So roll D20 plus intellect, reminder, investigator. We are not. And our intelligence is -1. So let us see. 16. So we are 15. Okay, the result is 15 or more. An unopened bottle of aged wine is on the table. You also notice a box full of silver eating utensils worth about 10 gold. Add this to your inventory to sell later. All right, cool. And aged wine is in quotes. So we'll have to check the inventory sheet and see if that's on the list. Okay, number 2. The entryway into the house acts as a greeting room. A lone guard stands watch by candlelight. He appears to be sleeping on the job. Sneak by without waking him. Roll a D20 plus dexterity. Reminder, stealthy. Okay. So our dexterity is a +3. And our stealthy is a +2, but we have our minus. Oh, I don't think I took my minus on my other one. I think we're still okay, though. I'll have to watch things back and see. And if not, then all it will be is we just get the aged wine instead of the silver. But when I watch my video back, I'll have to adjust that. But okay, so we're basically at a +3. So 12, so 15. All right, so you make no sound as the guard continues to sleep. You need it an 11 or more. And then room 1. A large sitting room stands before you. A few glowing embers remain from a fire that died in the fireplace. The room may hold something useful if you search around. Roll D20 plus intellect, reminder, investigator. Alrighty. We got a 19. And our intellect is a -1, so that's an 18 minus our 2, so 16. Okay, and we're looking for an 11. So within a tobacco box sitting by a large armchair, you find a copper key. Add this to your inventory. All right, cool. So that's it for today. Oh, I just noticed. This says 1F. This is the first floor. We're probably going to go to more floors. Fun. So here's the route. We started here, and then we went around, and then now we are at the star. Alrighty, so that's it for now. I will see you all. Hello. Happy Friday. It's just after 9:30. The Avalanche game just ended. It was a really fun game. It was a really crazy game. So in the first period, the Avs went down 3-0, and they were playing the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, Winnipeg. I was like, that sounds wrong. Winnipeg Jets tonight. And then they scored 6 scores unanswered. So the Avs won 6-3. It was super fun. And then I got super chippy in the end, and there was some scrapping going on. And I loved it, but I figured I'd update since it's Friday night and we need to wrap up this week's vlog. So, last night I didn't really read anything outside of my web novels, and I haven't done that for tonight yet, so I will be doing that soon. And then I did read before So originally I thought I was going to have our Kate Daniels live show tonight, and it got moved to next Friday, March 4th. I think it's March 4th, next Friday. So the first Friday in March. So I ended up not having things going on overlapping tonight, which was nice. But there were a couple of other live shows that I wanted to watch, but I wasn't planning on it because of the Kate Daniels one. And then I totally spaced them because I was like, sweet, I'm just going to read until the game starts. So I picked up Sunday's Child. And this is by Grace Draven. And it was really interesting. This is a novella, and it's a holiday fantasy novella. Now, it's kind of like Norse, but then they were elves. And then we had, like, who Santa Claus was from, because, like, Santa Claus is based off of Saint Nicholas. And so, Andor, I think it's Andor. He is a Norse elf, I guess. And he sleeps with one of the king's concubines, and his aunt is the queen. So she helps save him, so he gets exiled for 1,000 years. And he's forced to accompany Saint Nicholas. So he pretty much just has all year to do whatever. And then on Christmas Eve, he assists him in, like, delivering presents and all that goodwill stuff. So one night they go to, oh my gosh, I already forgot her name. I literally finished it, like, I don't know. I finished it during the second intermission, so 20-ish minutes ago. Maybe a little bit longer because of commercial breaks in the game. But anyway, so I think Claire, it starts with a C. I want to say it's Claire. So she is a Sunday child. And basically that means that she has the sight. So when Andor is with Santa, we're just going to call him Santa, he disguises himself to look like one of his helpers, which he calls gnomes, because he's like an elf, think like high fantasy elf, not Santa Claus elf. And she can see through the glamour because she has the sight. And a lot of the times, kids who have the sight, he mentions, like, in the old days, they would take them and they would, I can't remember what word he used, but basically the elves, these Norse elves, would take Sunday's children and they would kind of help transfer them so that they could live in their world or their universe or dimension or however it works. And that way that they would help keep the fact that they exist safe, since they can see through their glamours. But Santa is like, no, she'll lose the sight when she loses, her hope and her belief in Santa and all that stuff. And then he runs into her decades later, because she's now grown and she's divorced and she has a 10-year-old son and he's autistic, but he also has the sight. So he calls Andor Elf or Door. And it was super sweet, super cute. And what ends up happening is he falls in love with her. And they both are working for, like, a museum. And then he finds out that the king is going to forgive him his transgression, like, 12 years early. And he can come back to their dimension. But he doesn't want to. And for him to stay on Midgard, he has to give up, like, his immortality and his magic and everything, which he does. And it's super sweet. I wanted a little bit, I'm going to give it 4 stars. I wanted a little bit more development with the romance. I feel like, and like, it was intriguing and interesting that we kind of combined a couple different, or I guess more than 2 different, like, mythos together. But I feel like there was a little too much spent in the beginning on setting up Andor and why he's being sent to Midgard or Earth. So we didn't get much of their romance. And then the way it ends is it's like Christmas Eve or the night of Christmas or whatever, and he's about to lose his magic, and he takes her son Jack outside, and he uses his last little bit of magic to create December fireflies because her son loves fireflies. So he goes out and plays and tries to chase them while his magic can still support them to be there. So super cute, super sweet. Not the best novella I've read from Grace Draven, but I have read a lot of really good novellas from her, so I know that she can write really good ones. I just wanted a little bit more of the romance. But yeah, so I've used that for FaRoFeb Board 1 for FaRoFeb Author. And so I've officially finished the first bingo board of FaRoFeb. I doubt I'm going to finish the second one. And then I used it for Holiday Novella for the second board of Winter's Kiss. And so that is prompt 19. So I have 6 books to read for Winter's Kiss, the second board, in 3 days. But I was looking at some of the prompts, and I have 3 novellas that I have to read for Jackie Lau that would cover 3 of the prompts. So I can easily get those 3 read in a day for sure. So then I was looking up a couple other books. So I'll just have to figure out 2 other books, because I basically have 4 books planned, and then I'll have to figure out what else I want to read for those other 2 books, and if I can find a novella or a shorter book. I did find an alien romance that would fit for one of them, starts with the letter K, and so that one's like 200 and I think 80-ish pages or 300 pages, so it's a little bit shorter. So I'm probably going to pick up that one, because a lot of the books that I have that start with K I'm either not interested in it right now, but most of them are like not the first book in a series, and it's 4 new series. So I'm probably going to pick up that one, because at least what I had on my Kindle, I only had 2 that were like the beginning of a series. One of them sounded better than the other. But I figured I would close out this vlog, and we need to do our calendar for today. So yesterday we did the first floor of Whitmore Manor. So we will see. Today is the second floor. I know, and my lighting is really bad because I'm just relaxing in bed. So let me see if I can get it here. Will you focus if I zoom in? Okay. Let's see. All right, it just really doesn't want to focus. Oh, apparently it only focuses far away. All right, so we are, let me see what it says. Okay, so we are here, and we need to get to here. So what I'm thinking is we start in this room and then just go clockwise, because I like to hit all the rules. And then we also have a -2 today because we scared those girls in the kitchen. So it says, you couldn't find what you were looking for on the first floor. Perhaps there is an office on the second floor where correspondences and records of the tournament are kept. Navigate the dungeon like a maze. Begin at the S and make your way to the N, labeled with a star. Resolve each room you visit before choosing your next. So we are going to start in room number 2 and then make our way around counterclockwise. So room 2. This storage room contains a lot of miscellaneous items, spare linens for the bedrooms, firewood for the fireplaces. Perhaps there was something else useful here. Roll d20 plus intellect, reminder investigator. Oh, and I also did go back and rewatch my video from yesterday, and I was not high enough with the -2 because I forgot to take the -2 off one of the rolls, that we just got the aged wine and not the silverware. And the aged wine did have an effect on the inventory sheet. I can just flip to it real quick here. And that gives a d6 to your charisma for the page. So that might be useful in the future. That's a d12. So we got our D20. We're going to try to roll it on my Kindle here, and hopefully we work out. I know, I'm just like, could I have gotten up and gotten in a normal situation? Probably. But I didn't. Okay, so our intellect is a -1, so we're at a -3. Oop, oop, oop. I need to flatten it out. Oop, okay. Ha! 11. So that is an 8. For room 2, we find nothing of use for an adventurer such as yourself. So that sucks. Okay, so room 2, so then room 5. You avoid the kids' room and find the master bedroom. There's someone sleeping in the bed. It must be Lady Whitmore. You quietly glance around the room but find nothing of what you may be seeking. You don't desire to wake the lady of the house, so you quietly back out. Okay. So 2, 5, 4. Okay, Whitmore must have been an enthusiastic hobby hunter. There are several trophy animals mounted around the room. You've also find a large copper treasure box in the room. No amount of physical force will open it. Roll a d20 plus dexterity. Reminder, locksmith. Sorry, dex is a +3, but we have our -2, so a +1. That's a natural 20. Woo woo. Okay. All right, so we were looking for 17 or more, but it's 21. Inside you find 5 gold, a dragon's fire, and a combat tonic. Well, that's cool. Well, that's fun. I'll have to mark all that down. Okay, room 1. Another sitting room in the house features comfortable lounge chairs overlooking the beautiful full moon outside. The family dog is in this room. Ithis has noticed you and it growls in anger. Calm the dog. Roll a d20 plus wisdom. Reminder, animal tamer. So our wisdom is a +1, and we do have an animal tamer, which is a +2, but those will negate, so we are just at a +1. Whoa, another natural 20. Sweet, sweet. You present no threat and slowly back away from the dog. It calms and lies back down to sleep. Cool. So that was room 1. So room 3, and then we are done. You stand in awe of an immense private library. Here we go. There are wall-to-wall shelves full of books. Perhaps there is a valuable book or secret safe here. So intellect, reminder, student. So we are at a -3. And we are not a student. That would be a natural 1. As much as me, myself, am like, ooh, books. My monk's like, books? What are these? Oh my gosh. Yep. There are too many books to search among the stacks. All right. That's cool. That's cool, but that's okay. We broke into his chest. So now we are in the starter room, and that is it for today. So I'm guessing that tomorrow or this weekend we'll be figuring out what's in that room and hopefully finding the evidence we need to prove that Whitmore was naughty and trying to rig things. So that's it for this week. I'm going to wrap up the blog here. Not too bad. I read 4 books, 2 full-length books, and 2 novellas. So not too bad, not too bad. I'm definitely going to have a lot more book updates the next few days because I have 6 reads that I need to get in to finish Winter's Board. But that'll all be in next week's vlog. But thank you for sticking through me this week. Or sticking with me. Sticking through me. I swear. It's almost 10 o'clock on Friday night. It's been a long week. It's been a cold week. It was freaking 18 degrees today. This weekend is supposed to be in the 60s. I don't mind the cold, but I can't. It's really hard to adjust when we're going through such crazy temperature fluctuations. But anyway, I'll stop rambling at you. Thank you again. like, subscribe, do all that good stuff if you're enjoying watching these. And I will see you next week for another vlog. And I do have some plans to do more videos just to kind of branch out a little bit. And I will be doing a February wrap-up as well. But I do have a couple other plans of videos, different kinds of videos to film. I just need to actually film them and then actually edit them, because I've just kind of been focusing on my weekly vlogs. But anyway, see, I just can't stop myself rambling at you. But I hope you have a great week. Hopefully this one up on Wednesday, and I will see you next Wednesday. Until then, I hope you have some good reads. And stay warm or cool or whatever the temperature is where you are. I hope you stay in a comfortable temperature. Bye.